years.
This is a friendship that'll never ever end.
Greetings and welcome to a very special Unveiling Reality. How's everybody doing out there? Hope you're all doing and living well. We are doing a very special Hurricane Milton watch party here tonight. We're going to kind of keep an eye on as it hits land down in southern Florida. And we're going to have some live feed here from Ryan Hallyaw, who I've credited in the description below. And I'm also going to take some time as we check in and out with this feed here to talk about some of the big topics surrounding this these events that have been going on, these hurricanes here during hurricane season. But first, let me take time out and thank each and every one of you members of the Winner Circle. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It means a ton. And thank you also for Shelly and Wolf from supporting us over on Rumble. We are, of course, broadcasting live on Rumble, X, and YouTube here all at the same time, thanks to modern technology. It's so great. And thank you to all of the, wow, there's so many people on X watching tonight. Thank you guys so much for being here. And we're going to get right into hurricane coverage. And then I'm also going to just kind of clarify my stances on things a little bit that I've been doing lately. I want to address the, some stuff. I got some clips I want to bring up in terms of the history of weather weapons, acknowledging that there is a history of such a things existing and such a things being used in warfare. But also, you know, drawing into questions, is it possible that, you know, any of these hurricanes that we see are part of that? There's a lot of muddying of the waters. At the very end of it all, some conclusions about, you know, what does it mean and what are we going to do about it? Like one thing, you know, I often talk about, you know, is the conditions of people, right? So my anxiety and my conditions about, you know, what coverage is happening when and where is based around what's going on right now. The most important thing we have going on right now is the safety of these people that are involved in these natural disasters. As you can see here on the screen, it's pretty nasty. But also the fact that we are less than a month away from the 2024 election. And for no matter where you fall in this discussion right tonight, whether you believe there's you know, there's manipulation of the weather going on intentionally, or whether it's a byproduct of practices or whatever you believe in terms of this, the important thing to know is that we'll never get answers if we don't have a transparent government, and if we don't elect Donald Trump and turn things around in our own world here in just a few short weeks, then we have no chance of ever knowing if any of this stuff is true or not. But let me say hello to the crowd. Wolfram, how you doing, my friend? Thank you for being here. Thank you for dropping this links. And remember, guys, always listen to the Wolf. He knows what he's talking about. He wipes his paw, lips in the house. And there is our very own trucking, T-Rex trucking, and more, our very own trucker in the house. Yeah, Unveiling has been on a little bit of a hiatus. It's become a pop-up right now because there's so much election coverage. We just got to keep on top of it. I'm going to turn this up slightly. This feed is hard to work with. There's so many people in this feed right now that it's laggy. It's very laggy, and just even trying to do things like turn the volume up
city has ever had
is is difficult.
All right, thank you.
But I'll work with it. But these guys have been given the base kind of like scientific meteorological takes on things, so I want to have that as part of tonight. We're going to take a look at some conversations, some interesting conversations about weather weapons or history. This, you know, like clockwork, whenever there's a hurricane, these things get brought up. As you can see, it's lagging already. This feed right here is very, very temperamental, so I'll do my best with it, but I'm going to have it on the screen here at least for a little while as we kind of kick off the show. We'll listen in if we can. It gets really glitchy. There's just, this guy is so popular. He has so many people in his feed. It's over the top because he does such great work. He's dedicated, and I hope he doesn't mind that I'm sniping a little bit of it, because his coverage is so good. You just want to watch it. So anyways, there are some people out here in the crowd. Hello, guys. And thank you guys for being here again as we warm up here and we get going. Taking a look at our stats here. Are we going over good on Rumble? Guys, how's it going on Rumble? We got 6 over there. Thank you guys so much. Remember to hit the thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. I know things are a little wacky over there tonight as well. But there's a lot going on. So everything's kind of being taxed a little bit right now. everything's kind of being taxed. This also Max Velocity has a good feed as well. It's similar to Ryan's. Okay, I'll check that out because his is really temperamental right now. I want you guys to get the best coverage. Let's check in real quick and see what
like right now in Port Charlotte, which is not very far away.
Whoa, look at that wind.
Is rushing in very quickly and with force. I'm surprised whatever this camera is strapped to is strong.
That's some serious wind, guys.
As these huge waves slap.
You guys know that there's no such thing as a Category 6 hurricane? I've been doing a lot of research into hurricanes lately. Let me give you a little bit better view as I'm talking about this. There you go.
Very quickly.
I'm going to go back and forth between these two views.
Let's go check back in. With
but yeah, there's no such thing as a Category 6.
Time to talk to us.
Basically, once you hit Category 5, it's to the moon, right? So you could have 1,000 mile per hour Category 5, and that's how that works. As you know, I've put out a big long list of hurricanes for the last 80 years on my X page. You can take a look at that and just look at the categories there have been. Things have definitely picked up since 2000 in terms of
up towards
hurricanes, but also so is the coverage and the instruments and the technology to track them better. And I believe going back into the past, they're a little less.
Yeah, Ryan, we're seeing the surge push in.
A lot of them were not tracked as well, so that's why you see kind of an increase, I believe. Not to mention sun cycles have a lot to do with it as well.
First level of the residence there.
They were looking at some stuff here. They're talking about how this hurricane is so powerful because of the warm waters, and there's a lot of moisture left over from the last hurricane, and it's picking up speed. And evidently, there might be one following it as well. As you can see, it's locking up again. So I'm going to go back to this view here and turn it down. You see that? Whoop, whoop, whoop. So we'll take out max velocity too. As I pull the screen down here in a minute. Yeah, again, this one's very hard to work with. I've never seen a stream so laggy. And I'm just wondering, it's because he's got so many people going there, or whether it's just where he is and his reception isn't that good. But it's actually YouTube, as you can see. It's very laggy just trying to do anything here. I'll try to go live here. It was live a second ago and it lagged out so bad. Let's see. What's it set to? It's so bad. All right. Let's see. I think it's always been. I don't think they can. With the weather, the way people tend to play, but it doesn't mean that they're not actively trying to create technology. Yeah, here we go. There's some live.
Yeah,
liveness.
Category 3 is nothing to play around with.
Yeah, no categories are really anything to play around with once you get into it. Once you hit hurricane, it's
see the winds are really starting to pick up even more here in Venice. We will.
So are they saying that
a brief moment where
Category 3? So it's already slowed down to a Category 3. And Sandy was a Category 3, by the way. Like I said, I've been learning my hurricane history here. But more so, there's been a lot of talk about weather weapons. I know people jump to that conclusion a lot, and there's a lot of people pushing the narrative out there. But I do want to acknowledge there is, they call them weapons or weapons because they've been used. Like there's this Operation Popeye we're going to hear about. Oh, snap. It just snapped out on me. But it doesn't mean that they're being used this time, right? So I'm always like, so let's say base. We can acknowledge that there is technology, and we do understand about cloud seeding. I'm going to pull up some videos tonight about that. Things from my playlist that I have, I've saved for many for a long time now that are in different categories that kind of are programming, debunking some conspiracy grifts that are out there. And so it's about
weather service.
Just be realistic.
Was another great.
So I'm going to play some of those for you later. And I'm going to take some conversations around the topics.
I do think that
to kind of get a base take on
in the future,
and really just see some different opinions on it as well.
Casting a wide net with telling.
I have a great panel with Tim Pool and Rob Jew.
Which community should
having a conversation about it.
I think that a wider net.
We're going to talk about like how the mainstream media will jump on things and misconstrue them for their own benefit to make our side look wacky. But at the same time, like I said, I do want to acknowledge that
on the coast
there is technologies out there.
Honestly, I think that,
however,
that was probably a better method.
Are they being used? Can they be used in these situations, or are we talking about other types of situations?
But still, very well communicated, well forecasted.
I think the important thing to do is to realize that we need evidence
away from
real
official
proof.
landfall near Sarasota.
While we can entertain
the key. Category 3, 120 mile per hour
winds. People there's a possibility.
Storm surge is still coming in on the southern side. Inglewood, we're really going to start to see it pile up there in Port Charlotte here over the next little bit as well.
Yeah, here we go. Let me mute him. All right. Sorry, I'm talking over old Ryan there, but you can see some of the activities going on in Milton right now. That's amazing footage right there, isn't it? Well, I keep showing the flood, but the wind's whipping around is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But yeah, we're going to get into these topics here in a minute. But I just kind of want to look at this hurricane here and see how it's doing, see what this guy has to say, and then we'll try to, let me just go ahead and try to find the other word, max velocity. Oh, I need a better browser than that, don't I? Let me see. You guys take a look at this. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Get a good look at that. I'll turn him up for a second. No, he's not going to talk. There we go.
Kenzie, if that gets down below 5 and we don't have an official announcement and Andy agrees, add 5.
Yeah, I'm in the wrong business. I should be doing Weather Channel because I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist though. So, anyways, hey, Memento, what's up? How you doing? Welcome. We're gonna get in. How you doing, bud? Good to see you. We're gonna get into all the other topics as well because I want to talk about this, and I'm gonna open up with the kind of a panel discussion
Clearwater.
about it. And then we'll go into some of the other videos and
Clearwater,
how this kind of
also
confirm
starting
some
to
things
see
I've
some
been talking
reports
about.
of
I just feel like I
some,
needed to clarify
a storm
just
surge
on
over here
things
as well.
a little bit
Likely
better than I
coming
have
in
been
from
lately.
the Tampa Bay
like I
area,
said,
not coming in from the Gulf.
Like I said, you know, I worry about how at this point what we're doing and how we're, the littlest thing can shift voters in the middle. I really just want to win this election because I feel like we have to do this. Otherwise we're going to be in for some serious shit that I don't want to go through. And so that's where I come from. I get a little anxious sometimes in terms of it, because I feel like I know so much is on the line. I mean, this has been a long-term battle. I've been fighting to get the corruption out of this, our government, and try to clean things up and have a more honest and open and transparent society based in truth, not based in speculations and stuff like that. And I pulled up an old clip from Jan Irving today, and I added it to the collection here. I want to show you guys this. This is Jan Irving, triviumeducation.com. I had an interview with him a long time ago, and I've cleaned it up a little bit, modernized it, if you will. And it looks a lot better. But this is something he said during that I specifically went to go look for, because I remember him saying this. And just take a look, listen to this.
He won't read the facts because he's in this circular, ignorance where he's smarter than anybody who's read it. Somebody who hasn't read it thinks that they're smarter than, 2 billion people who have. So that's how they come at things. And so they will never look at the facts, no matter if you hand them the book and say, look, it says it right there. But it doesn't matter the topic. It could be about geoengineering. It could be about the trivium. It could be about, religion or the history of cannibalism. It doesn't matter the subject. There's always going to be people who think they know things that they have never read. So part of the trivium is going back to that knowledge: who, what, where, and when. Studying things before you pretend to know why they are, and then you can explain how you reached your conclusions.
The who, what, where, and when, the trivium logic, so important. Triviumeducation.com, I believe it is Jan's site. He's old school. He goes way back to the old school where he was reintroducing the trivium to a whole new generation of people. He's a really great guy. We had an awesome conversation, and it was an honor to have him on the show. Really, I mean, he doesn't do interviews. It was my passion for the trivium, and the fact that I had known about him way back in the day. That was the only reason he came on the show. Like, he doesn't do interviews anymore these days. He basically just is a dad taking care of his kid. He's kind of like me, and doing the same things. He loves to hunt. He's a big Trump supporter as well. But man, the trivium education is on the board for solution culture as something we need to get our kids back understanding and learning at an early age to protect them from disinformation, to help them understand what logical fallacies are and false premises are. This is part of the solution to rebuild our society, is to refine our education back into something that is helping people, something that is preparing them for this world, especially this world of information technology, where, like we saw the other night with the antisocial network, memes to mayhem, the whole story of the 4chan, 2chan, 4chan, 8chan boards, and how they have manipulated so much of culture with the memes that were coming out there, and the vicious kind of the trolling that was going on from those boards that became these conspiracy theories, a lot of conspiracy theories that drove people to do, very, very, very atrocious things. And Voltaire says, one of the things he says is like, those who can get you, that can get you to believe absurdities can get you to commit atrocities. And that's a very, very true statement. So the trivium helps protect against that. And I think that's one of the things we need to get back into our education system pronto. That'll definitely take care of a lot of this on a generational fixed level. Let me just go ahead and try to change this feed. So we know Milton is jamming right now. It is jamming. How's everybody doing out there? How you doing? I'm going to be playing a lot of this panel. I want to bring this panel up so we can get talking about these weather weapon destruct conversations, and these dig into the past as well. And so learning about the past, understanding how they were used, help us maybe better understand our analysis for if they're realistically can be used today and for this kind of stuff. I mean, it's kind of odd that we have these hurricane seasons. I get that people are, this always comes up during hurricane season, but I get that, having three big ones that are, two big ones back to back and potentially a third one. And, and they happen to be hitting, red states. I get that, the wheels start turning. I understand it's wild. It's wild stuff. It doesn't mean that we can make a wild connection to it, but also we can consider a lot of things in this area. So let me just kind of let some other people do the talking here for a minute, and I'll chime in. Let's get that at winning speed. Okay, here we go. This is what I want you guys really to see tonight. And I also want you to see the one that's after this, where he kind of follows up with this, because I really feel like it kind of articulates my position better than I'm actually able to do it right now. But let me pull this up. And I think it's like a really base position to be in, like where you can kind of see everything at once, right? Hello. And it all goes around the stuff that Margie Taylor Greene from Georgia is talking about. It's kind of like where the discussion is starting. Why can I not find that tab? It should be right at the top. Give me a second, guys. I don't know why I'm being silly here. I mean, it's because I have so many tabs open. It might be what it is. Geez. Okay. Give me 1 second. Cancel this. Share this. Maybe I was rolling in here. Daisy Girl Williams, how you doing? How you doing? Welcome to the show. I'm clicking around like a madman over here. All right, let's just do this. Let me close some stuff that I don't need. That can go away. This is what I want. Oh, here we go. Is it there? What? How can it be the one tab that I need to have open? It's not there. MTG. Sorry, guys. It's going to take me a second. Maybe if I refresh it, it'll show up. All right. Well, if you want to be like that, I'll just open a new tab. How about that? I can beat this game. Did it? It worked. Give me 1 second. All right, so some of this stuff. Where are we at here? Okay, here we go. Thank God. I don't know why it's being so like this right now. There we go. All right.
The weather. And of course, the media put they in quotes, but first, this is really important. Milton has intensified into a category 5 hurricane. Massive surge warning.
It's now a category 3. So this was done a day ago. So let's just take a look at this. But I wanted you guys to hear the discussion.
So before we get into the more political nature of what the story is, I just want to say, please heed the warnings from local law enforcement, relative to the other states. Take it seriously. I know this has never happened before. Right before an election, 2 swing states and a major Republican stronghold get slammed, but not by one hurricane, but 2 hurricanes. And what they're saying of this Hurricane Milton is unprecedented. So when they announced Milton, they said it may strengthen to a hurricane and then hit Florida. Then I see the next update. It's looking like it'll be a major hurricane. They were saying maybe it will be a category 3. Then this morning they said it's a category 3. It may actually get to the point where it becomes a 4 or a 5. We will see. 2 hours later, they're like, it's a 4.
Yeah.
2 hours later, it's a 5.
That's not unheard of. Actually, it's not unheard of. I did research into the hurricanes that have in the past that have gone up to 4 and 5, and literally within hours they can speed up. So this isn't unheard of. It's actually something that can happen. It has happened. Historical proof it has happened numerous times. So
now they're saying it's even crazier. So here's what ends up happening. Several days ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene tweets out, and I'll show you. She says, this is a map of hurricane-affected areas with an overlay of electoral map by political party. Shows how hurricane devastation could affect the election. And do they have her other tweet in here? She tweeted something saying, yes, they can control the weather. That's obvious. Now,
okay, so
it's true. Governments, corporations, special interests have the ability to manipulate weather to a certain degree. We've got cloud seeding. We saw the story recently in, I think it was where, the Emirates or Dubai. There was major flooding in Dubai.
I'm going to show you guys like a story that's in, actually that exact story is in my deprogramming chemtrail. It's in the deprogram the chemtrails conspiracy grift forever. That playlist, I actually have the Dubai story. So just to clarify my position, I've always said geoengineering exists. And I said, like, if you really are concerned about weather manipulation, focus your energies on geoengineering, particularly the cloud seeding activities. And I would later clarify that with persistent contrails, and that we can actually do something about those by lobbying airlines and airports, air traffic control to steer planes out of 100% saturated areas. That's how they actually work. And even tonight, I have it saved over here on InfoWars X channel. In fact, since I'm going to just do this bits and pieces here, just to show you guys, this lady right here, right? And literally look at the title of this, right? Literally it says, Weather Weapons Watch. Top weather modification experts warn evidence shows Hurricane Helene and Milton are being manipulated. This is what Alex Jones is saying right now. This lady is literally sitting here talking about persistent contrails, not chemtrails. And she's saying that it's the overabundance. And I think that's a little misleading, but it's like the overabundance of these adds precipitation. No, it doesn't. It transforms precipitation through the jet engine. So if you have a clear day, it's 100% saturation. You may not have any cloud cover at all. Right. But then these jets take the moisture out of the air and condense it into a persistent contrail. That's how they work. But she's literally on InfoWars right here.
On air pollution, water pollution.
Talking about how this persistent contrail cloud cover is actually dimming, it's dimming the light. Right. So it affects it in that way. And that's what I warn people about that are into the chemtrail thing. I'm like, don't focus on the chemtrails, focus on the contrails and the persistence of those contrails, and understand how they work, because you see the climate hoax people are going to use that information to create more cloud cover. So if you're like me and you love a nice clear day and you hate clouds, a cloudy day, and then this plane comes by and another one comes by from the airports, right? And because they're following the same flight patterns, they're coming out of the airports. It's a checkerboard because the wind blows, All right. And they take the moisture, the 100% saturation out of the sky, and they condense it into a persistent cloud, right? So it becomes artificial cloud cover. And that's what I've been trying to tell people about the whole chemtrails thing. It's like, people want you to believe that they're doing something nefarious, but in actuality, it's our own, it's through what we're just doing naturally that stuff's happening. However, people can take what they've now noticed and say, we think the sun's causing global warming, and we think global warming is real, so we're going to make more cloud cover. Isn't that great? So now your sunny days turn into cloudy days, and you're fighting the wrong battle. The real battle to fight is the ones with the airlines and saying, please fly in less saturated areas so that your contrails will not persist and not ruin my beautiful day here. But they'll tell you the climate hoaxers are going to, if you want to watch that, that's over there. But this lady's literally on Alex Jones' channel, not saying chemtrails, she's saying contrails. And I thought that was interesting. So I wanted to bring that up for a second. I don't want to play
the reduction.
This thing keeps moving, so I don't know where it is. Like every time I tried to save it, it moved again. But I really wanted to listen to this lady all the way through, so I might go back through and grab that and add it to the playlist or something. I want to hear what she has to say and analyze that right there. Let me bring back up the dialogue here with this group.
Dubai.
Major flooding because their cloud seeding operation was too good. So they were spraying some potassium derivative or some compound in the air, which basically causes the moisture to start condensing around the particles, and then it makes rain, and then that rain falls because there's moisture in the air basically all the time. So this is basically what Marjorie Taylor Greene is trying to imply. With this, it looks like she's trying to imply that Republican strongholds are being destroyed by a hurricane that was the government or deep state's doing, I guess. I mean, look, Marjorie Taylor Greene saying that, the government or special interests can control the weather, and then showing Republican areas being slammed by this is making the insinuation that the weather is being controlled. But I do want to pull this tweet up here from Noah Berggren. He is a meteorologist on Fox 35 Orlando, and he says, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is nothing short of astronomical. I'm at a loss.
I think this is a great conversation because it goes back and forth. It lets everybody have a say about their opinion on it. But I think what comes out of it is that, it's best you can have a speculation right now. So
for words to meteorologically describe I think to you the storm's small I and intensity. 897 MB pressure with 180 miles per hour max, sustained winds and gusts 200 miles per hour. This is now the fourth strongest hurricane ever recorded by pressure on this side of the world. The eye is tiny at nearly 3.8 miles wide. This hurricane is nearing the mathematical limit of what Earth's atmosphere over this ocean's water can produce. So, look, I don't know if you want to believe that this is government action, but I don't believe the government can make the most powerful hurricane ever. Or whoever, I don't know. Do you guys think that HARP is firing radio waves or something?
Allow me to put on my tinfoil hat. And
that's Rob D from
back in the 60s. They were doing this, and I explained this.
Okay, so this is the one thing that I have a problem with too sometimes, right? That when you're asked a question like this, they always default to the okay, let's go back in time, right, to the 60s. And because of the 60s, this is happening now. That's not good logic at all to be using. Because of this, now this. And it's like you got this big gap, right? Just because something happened way back then doesn't mean that it's actually happening now. But you can start making a correlation. Then you would think that it would be progressing, and now it's everywhere, right? That doesn't prove anything. It may be a good case for something, right? Building a case of something, and you can say, well, that's something to look at. Okay, let's look at those particular things. For me, okay, so now you know this, right? So now let's pinpoint it. Let's follow the money trail. Let's do that. And let's remember, we're never going to know if it's top secret unless it's released by a base president. So we have to elect Donald Trump, right?
Earlier we were talking about, but Ben Livingston was a guy who was running. He was a weather guy. And then
I always feel like this history lesson is a bias confirmation. Like it's generally used as a bias confirmation. Okay, believe me, because it happened in the 60s. That's just my opinion on it. But let's listen to what it has to say here.
Into Vietnam, said, "Hey, make weather happen. We want to bomb the Ho Chi Minh Trail with rain. We want to take it out." So they were in the 60s. They were doing this. He's called the father of weather weapons, and that was just using cloud seeding.
Okay, so that was cloud seeding. So that just cloud seeding, and it's like they were doing this. They did it for this particular operation that we know of, right? Okay.
Now we know that if you've seen some of these radar things where they show the Doppler radar areas, that are out there, and they'll show a map of just a bunch of circles, boom, 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 and they're pulsing almost. And you can see this over and over again in these videos with these storms.
Right. Those are
And
radars.
what that is, and this is my opinion, that these Doppler radar stations have a dual purpose. One is to
Okay, so now that's his opinion that they have a dual purpose. There's no evidence for this, right? There's no evidence that, okay, secretly Doppler radar is doing something else than it's what it's supposed to be doing. Any Doppler radar experts in the house? You know, okay, so just to be clear on that, it's an opinion, and a journalistic opinion sometimes gets taken as the wrong way, but it's his opinion. We're all entitled to it.
see where the weather is, but the other thing is to put out ionizing radiation. And then you have HARP, which is up, and there's HARPs in other countries too. These antenna arrays that are heating the ionosphere.
We can literally put them on a map of where they're at, and like I said, I'm going to show some stuff later on from my playlist that just talk about some of these points here. But literally, you know, if you want to point to one and say, well, this is the one doing it, or something like that, Puerto Rico is your best bet in this case. However, when I explain to you how these work and let you see inside the facility themselves, you can make up your own mind about whether you think they're actually doing all this stuff or not.
Sphere. And the theory is by doing that, they can maneuver large areas with weather.
The theory is, you see what I'm saying? His opinion, the theory is, right? These are the words.
And then you have the space lasers that Marjorie Taylor Greene is talking about. Well, she posted a video. One of her tweets was a video, I think it's Michio Kaku, talking about how we shoot lasers at weather systems to move them around.
So this is, so I can.
Okay, now he said that Michio Kaku said we shoot laser systems at weather. Now I remember Michio Kaku talking about the stages of civilization. And one of them was when you can control the Earth's weather, right? As you enter this other stage of existence, right? Michio Kaku has this thing too, right? A smart guy, interesting guy, but you know, he says it, right? So this is not not evidence; it's hearsay, and we don't know exactly which one he's referring to. We can try to find what he's saying that we're doing. But which space lasers is where, who owns them, and what satellites are they coming from? And, you know, like I said, I have to keep asking questions. Like I'm not good enough on hearsay. I'm not good enough on opinion or theory, right? That's how I've just stayed out of the abyss, right? Otherwise, you can just be like, oh man, they're shooting lasers at us every day. Oh shit, we're all gonna die. That's the live in fear aspect of the second veil, and which I refuse to do.
And speak a little bit to that, because this has been a cloud seeding technique. Germany was famous for, going back for a little while, using infrared lasers for cloud seeding purposes to excite molecules and then cause them to act in certain ways or whatever, to move them, to condense them, to make rain. I don't know.
Okay, so you have to, and this, what he's talking about here is now you have to have a couple of combinations of things, right? So you have to first feed the clouds. Well, I'll show you a cloud seeding plan here in a minute. And second, you have to then target and excite it with lasers. So combination theory here. So
about making a hurricane, though.
I mean, combination practice.
That's well, unless you're saying it's been like 60 years of development and these weather weapons have been massively strengthened.
There's patents to steer hurricanes.
Okay, so the patents is another thing that always comes up with these things, right? It's always the patents. There's a lot of patents out there that are patented and never made. There's a lot of patents out there that literally don't work. Like you can patent something that doesn't work at all and just say, I got an idea, I'm going to patent it, right? Like I patented an idea for a toilet one time that would analyze your waste in order to give you to know what you're going on with your body and give you a readout and then send the information to your doctor, which would then, then they could, tell if there's something that was wrong with you. I think they're actually making those now, but I literally came up with it and drew it out and wrote it out and then mailed it to myself. And now I have a patent, right? So I have a patent for the smart toilet that is going to save your life one day. And then it's supposed to connect next to a big like body scanner, right? So you can step in and get your body scanned. The whole idea was like you didn't have to go to the doctor ever again, and you could get ahead of diseases that were hitting you. So there's my patent. Yeah, I literally have the envelope up in my room, like where I mailed it to myself. And it has the whole patent on it. And I did it like 15 years ago or something. So yeah, mine.
Look that up. People have
I
been
think
posting
you're
on
just a crazy conspiracy theorist, and obviously this is climate change.
No, totally.
If
we give out more money, they'll all go away.
Amazing how no matter what, it's always the thing that helps.
Did you find it?
Yes. Hurricane and tornado control device, method for controlling hurricanes. And application 20080047480 proposes a giant machine and method of operation to control hurricanes. I don't believe it means these machines are viable.
Right, a giant machine. Where is it?
A patent of someone having one is just
That's true. That's true.
See,
Who's the
now
guy?
they-
Terrence Howard.
He's like, that's true, right? It's
There's
like,
a lot of patents, but what have they done?
right.
see, that's funny, but you just put it out there like it was a fact, but that's okay.
I'm obviously joking. I just know that
But that patent's from
eventually-
the 40s, I think. It's
The
old.
40s?
Yeah, it's old.
old.
It's not. I don't think it's new. And they've been working on this. They put out guidebooks where they
Okay,
were going
who's
into
got this?
hurricanes and seeding them. And another.
Okay, but that doesn't have anything to do with a tornado machine or steering things. We just talked about how seeding makes it rain more. We all
I saw
know
this guy was
happens,
tracking
but-
these weather, and I think they're weather monitoring planes. But he said these same planes also have the ability to do cloud seeding.
Okay, so so weather monitoring planes also have the ability to do cloud seeding. Again, this is hearsay; it's no evidence. But I'm just maybe he'll show some evidence here.
Maybe they're just running cloud seeding planes through there, beefing up this hurricane.
I mean that is something I'm willing to entertain. I mean, just show me the planes and show me the, let's not speculate on that. But I'm willing to entertain that idea. I mean that would probably make the most sense out of anything I've heard in terms of beefing it up, man, making it. I mean, but I think the whole idea with cloud seeding is that you're kind of condensing. You're not creating it. You're making it happen. Like the seeds themselves don't produce water, right? They attract it, and they kind of like they attract it and condense it together. So maybe it makes it. I don't know enough about it. We'll look at some more stuff here in a minute. I'm trying to imagine it right now, so I'm just trying to imagine with him how this would work.
And then hitting it with other things. I don't know. I don't know the technology
He doesn't know the technology.
To what end though? Because they want Florida to not have good voter turnout.
to cause
or-
chaos. Yeah, to cause chaos. Because maybe, hey, if you hit it in the center of the state where it's mostly red, you don't have anything going in my.
This is again, it's all speculation, right? It's all hypotheticals. Then that's the problem, right? There's not going to be any solutions at the end of this conversation about this from Rob. And I like Rob. He's laid back dude. I've been watching his work for a decade. On InfoWars, he's been a mainstay at InfoWars for probably a decade and a half at this point.
Miami's safe. That's where your Democrat strongholds are. Jacksonville's safe. The Panhandle's already been
When
slammed.
you talk about some precision handling of a Category 5 hurricane or Category 3 or whatever. I mean, you're talking about precision handling,
which is that's Matt Gaetz country.
Right.
So you go through Tampa. That's pretty much.
So I
taken
saw
out.
a ton of people posting about how this is. It's not that this never happens, but it's a very unusual
Very convenient.
path.
Yeah, it seems very convenient right now. And this hurricane.
well, okay, it's unique, but now it's convenient. It's like,
Okay, yeah,
come
it
on,
doesn't
man.
really go. They don't go from Mexico over into Florida. They usually
That's
go that
right.
way. They
That's-
usually
We all
go-
know we've been.
It's
we've been
extremely
around.
wild and rare, as I hear, for a hurricane to form in the Gulf
Yeah.
and then move north up.
northeast.
Right.
Yeah, and that's and it's supposed to hit part of Mexico.
It
and
is
then
right now.
bounce off.
So
it's in- yeah.
currently the radar shows it over Merida, Yucatan Peninsula, I believe.
Yeah, there
So
it is.
it is getting slammed.
It's also
you know-
worse. It's also worse if there's a high tide because it's supposed to hit Wednesday. You got to see when the high tide is because that makes the storm
Is
surge even worse.
Is it really bad for me to say I hope it veers south?
What
You
to
know,
Cuba?
Well, I mean, like, because if it turns south right now, it'll slam into the Yucatan and just watch poor people living in these areas. Not all poor people. And if it heads southeast, it'll slam into Cuba. And so it's like, I hope it stays where it is and fizzles out, I guess, which is not.
Okay, so real quick, guys, on the topic of east-west travel, here we go. East-west travel. West-east travel of hurricanes. Very unique. I'm going to come back to that in a second, I believe. I might go to the next one. Chat GPT. What are you saying? What are you saying here, dude? All right. I said please list every hurricane that traveled from west to east in the Gulf of Mexico. Hurricanes typically travel east to west in the Gulf of Mexico due to the prevailing trade winds and general circulation patterns of the atmosphere. However, there are rare instances where hurricanes have moved from west to east. Here are a few notable examples. Hurricane Harvey, 2017, not an election year. Hurricane Andrew, 1992. I don't believe that was. That might have been an election year. I don't know. Tropical Storm Francis, 1998. Hurricane Lily, 2002. Hurricane Ivan, 2004. 2004 was an election year. And now we have Milton. So there you go. That's it's in our lifetime. In our lifetime, we've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 now. So that's I guess that's rare because there's a lot. There's tends to be a lot every year, but just to keep it based, there we go.
likely to be the case considering the water is warm and it's fueling the hurricane.
Right. And
The water is
if they
warm
can
and
make these
fueling
things stronger,
hurricane.
then you would also think they can make them weaker. If the government has this power, which we don't know if they do, we seem to think they do. I seem to think.
No, I
Again, Rob is like, he says this, and this other dude comes in here and like, it's
I
like,
don't think that that's the case.
You think it's just
right? Like, you don't have to necessarily make them weaker. You can just focus on making them stronger.
just because you can start something doesn't mean you can stop it. They can smash atoms, but once that chain reaction started, they're not stopping it.
That's true.
So
Well, come on, they can steer it precisely between Miami and Jacksonville. And Jacksonville's turning red, by the way. This is the kind of conversations that I think.
I don't think that the logic.
Bill said they only invested in one direction.
goes one
I
way.
mean, the thing that for argument's sake, I think cloud seeding does work, right? It worked over Dubai, and
It absolutely has worked. It's been
That's
around for
worked
100
for
years.
so they do have.
Yeah, it does work. Dubai got soaked doing their own. They did too much, and boy, they pay for it. I'll show you some footage of Dubai here in a minute.
Have cloud seeding, so that actually is a technology that exists. But I don't think that I've heard of anything that can undo the cloud seeding, or I've never heard of anything that can stop rain that started.
Didn't Trump ask about nuking a hurricane during his administration or whatever?
Yeah,
Like, it would do nothing.
He said
it would just add radiation to the storm.
just go around. He did say something during his inaugural address, though. He talked about releasing the technology to the masses, and like
That's a good point, Wolfram. That's right. Katrina was a big dog, man. It was a big dog, and the Dems were not claiming that Bush and Cheney had a machine to steer Katrina. Well, they wanted to blame it on climate change. You know how it goes. The one side says climate change, the other side says, government controlled weather weapons. And I just think we probably need to find out what the truth is before we make a decision about things like that. And again, to what ends? Does neither side? Nobody ever comes out with a solution. Rob is not going to tell you a solution at the end of this statement.
he's apparently seen behind the curtain, and there's a lot of talk about his granddad, I guess, or his uncle went into the Tesla factory. Yeah. So there's this thought that maybe he knows about this technology that's sitting in, warehouses like the Ark of the Covenant, in the end of Indiana Jones, and he's going to open them up. He's going to open these things up, and then now we have free energy generators.
None of this has to do with proving a point about whether a weather weapon was used in the hurricane, right? None of it does.
Every house. I can't believe that those books from the 1800s. What are they about? Baron Trump, who wrote Ingersoll.
Okay, they're gonna go off the deep end here for a little bit. Let's see if we can get back to it. They start talking about Baron Trump in these books, like they maybe a tribe, the Baron Trump novels. Like they squirrel here for a minute.
He was appointed to counsel the Kingdom of Hanover by Abraham Lincoln. So I assumed there would be some.
Lord. All right, come on.
And it's that Milton is actually going to slam into Tizimin, Merida, around Cancun,
right.
in Mexico.
Happened.
Or is that Belize?
We're out.
I don't know what these countries are. And the Yucatan.
Okay. So that was that. Let me show you the Dubai stuff. This stuff's really interesting. This is in my deprogramming chemtrail conspiracy grift forever playlist. I got a ton of great stuff in there, man. And it just runs through the whole thing and then I'm really just trying to make the point that it's persistent condensation trails, and that we can do something about it, and so it's not a worthless fight if you're really against contrails, if you're really against persistent contrails. I am personally. I think they suck. I'd like to see them go away. I like my clear days. I don't like to have a nice, beautiful blue sky, like looking up at at an ocean above, if you will, and then have some, plane come by and spit out a cloud over top of it, mess up I'm trying to get a little bit of sun here, and then all of a sudden, I don't like it. I think they should fly above the saturation lines, and you can actually see saturation lines. They're like layers of atmosphere right above you. You can actually fly out of it. That's why people say, look, they're turning it on and off. No, they're actually just flying out of a saturated area into an unsaturated area, and they're not able to condense and make a persistent contrail from it.
What do you do if you live in the middle of the desert and need water? You make it rain. Scientists in Dubai can now literally modify their weather. This technology could change the world as we know it, but will controlling the weather be used for good or for evil? In July of 2021, the United Arab Emirates National Center of Meteorology released a video showing a rainstorm that had been created using weather-modifying technology. How did they make it rain in the desert, you might ask? Scientists in Dubai used high-powered lasers and other advanced technology that were mounted to drones.
Hey, Ellie, there's your lasers.
To make the rain fall from the desert sky. It should come as no surprise that one of the world's wealthiest cities would need a lot of resources, and the fact that Dubai resides in the
And so, like, if you think that playing God with the weather is a bad thing, then geoengineering is your fight. You want to go after geoengineering and these practices, and being like, we shouldn't screw around because one wrong slip. And this video makes a great point about this too. I think this is the video that says like, well, what about the person next to you? What about the country next to you? Right? When you affect your weather, it doesn't just stay over top of where you're at. You end up affecting people around you. So there's a great argument against geoengineering, right? And playing God with the weather. I'm personally against it. I don't think that we need to do it. So, I mean, in terms of, clearing the skies, in terms of stop and halting or very much minimizing geoengineering, I'm on the same side as everybody else that probably would call these, weather weapons and chemtrails.
Desert with no source of fresh water nearby means that H2O is a hot commodity, both literally and figuratively. The city of 3.4 million residents receives
a more solution-based kind of outlook. I look at it from a more solution-based standpoint. Like, how can I solve this problem without, muddying the waters or actually get it solved? I got to attack the real root of this thing, right? What's really going on, and what's the solution?
Around 15 million tourists, but only about 4 inches of rainfall every year. In order to support its own population and the booming tourism industry, Dubai needs to import a lot of goods. This is especially true for food and water. Being in the desert with very little rainfall isn't just a problem for obtaining water, but without the vital resource, crops are hard to grow as well. So how does Dubai plan to overcome the problem? By making their own rain using drones. The weather isn't very kind in Dubai as the sandstorms can reach a speed of 62 miles per hour. This means
I can hear T-Rex now. Then maybe don't build your city in the desert.
Tiny grains of sand are whipped against buildings and anyone stuck outside at the speed of a car driving on the highway. Also, since the land the city sits on is not solid rock, the engineers of Dubai have had to come up with some unique solutions to construction problems. In fact, the skyscrapers in the city are held up by more friction than by traditional methods of building into the bedrock. They've even terraformed the region by building a palm tree-shaped island that's covered with luxury homes and resorts. To construct the island, the United Arab Emirates dredged up enough sand from the seafloor to encircle the earth 3 times. But regardless of how much terraforming or engineering is done in Dubai, water scarcity is the biggest problem of all. Yet, scientists have found a way to manifest clouds and rain using artificial means. Is this safe? We'll let you be the judge. In 2017, researchers at the University of Reading were awarded $1.5 million to fund their rain enhancement science. But that is nothing compared to the $15 million that the United Arab Emirates has invested in what they've called their quest to ensure water security. The University of Reading project to create more rain in Dubai used a mix of science, climate research, and drones. Rain is caused by the water vapor in the clouds condensing and forming droplets that are large enough to fall to the ground.
There you go.
Scientists in Dubai are causing this process to happen artificially. The premise behind their experiment is that if they can bombard an already existing cloud with electricity to cause the tiny water droplets to attract one another, they can make it rain. This is what happened in the video posted by the United Arab Emirates National Center of Meteorology.
We're not watching the whole thing.
This was a short burst of rain, but by zapping the clouds with electricity from drones, scientists took the first steps towards bringing rain to the desert. However, to truly control the weather and provide enough rain to ensure Dubai has water security, there are a few problems that scientists still need to overcome. For instance, using drones to zap rain out of the clouds seems to work great, unless there are no clouds in the sky. And since Dubai is rarely cloudy, this is a problem. But scientists have found a solution to this problem as well. If they can make their own clouds, then that's another part of the weather they can control. The crazy thing is researchers have found a way to do just this. However, the consequences it could have may be life-threatening. One simple but extremely expensive way for Dubai to generate its own clouds is by building a humongous artificial mountain outside of the city. This construction project would most likely cost hundreds of millions of dollars and take
just to create clouds, you got to build a plateau worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Years to build. But in the end, the mountain could cause clouds to form. The way mountains influence rainfall is that when the air is blown toward the mountain, it forces the air molecules to ascend to higher altitudes. When the air rises, it cools and its volume decreases. This causes an increase in humidity and rain clouds to form. This is the natural phenomenon that has caused researchers in Dubai to toss around the idea of building a mountain to produce more clouds. Another more sophisticated approach is that the United Arab Emirates
to build a Tower of Babylon
is looking into a process called cloud seeding. This is when scientists use salt crystals coated with titanium dioxide to make clouds. But let's be clear, there is something nerve-wracking about the idea of putting titanium nanoparticles into the air we breathe. In fact, the World Health Organization has warned that inhaling titanium might lead to carcinogenic problems. This is a complex way of saying that breathing in the particles could lead to cancer. This would be a steep price to pay to just create some clouds in the sky. Cloud seeding has become condemned by many scientists as there's no way to control the process or contain it. Once the titanium particles are in the air, they will be carried by the Earth's winds wherever they blow. Also, if cloud seeding works the way it's supposed to and doesn't cause any harm to the human body, it could lead to some other problems. The clouds that are made will not remain in one spot. This means that as the cloud drifts with the wind, they'll bring the moisture contained within them wherever they go. Once out of the desert, the artificial clouds may cause flooding in other regions of the world. So what Dubai does with cloud seeding?
So there's a big risk to this.
It would not just affect
if you
the
don't like
United Arab
doing
Emirates,
geoengineering,
but its
this is
neighbors
your
as well.
fight.
And when other people are affected by the actions of a foreign nation, all sorts of political problems can arise. Which brings us to another problem with controlling the weather. The technology may not only be used for good. In the future, if countries can control the amount of clouds and rain that are present in an area, they could use the technology to create flash floods on enemy targets, or just by creating clouds in the sky, a military force could cover their approach by air. This obviously isn't what the technology being used to create rain and clouds is being developed for, but there is nothing to stop it from being used for alternative purposes if it falls into the wrong hands. And this is where just having the technology to alter the weather could be a problem. Water is a vital resource, and having access to water has been a catalyst for many conflicts. If one country can produce,
that's the gist of it on that one. But yeah, there's a Dubai story, and what's going on with that. So they have to build to make clouds. They have to build a freaking mountain, and then to make them actually join together, they have to find a cloud, and they have to make it rain. They got to find a cloud and zap it with electricity. And then they have to seed other clouds. It's just it's a big process. It's hard to hide that process. It's kind of like what I'm talking about here. It's like, it's pretty apparent. It would be pretty apparent. It's very costly. But what do you guys think? You don't have headset with me. TV stays on volume 100. But I can glance at the chat occasionally. Oh man. So you can't hear what I'm saying right now. Daisy. All right. Okay, so what did I want to do? Oh yeah, I want to let's talk about the other part that he was talking about. And this one's coming up a lot. So I love showing this video. Let's see. Is this the right one? Let's this is the one that most people will be like, oh, I heard about harp, right? First of all, let me go to what is it, right? Project. Okay. That's right there, but I want to show you something real quick. I want to show you something. Did you know? Most people don't know this. Do you know that you can go and get a tour of HARP anytime you want to? Now, for everybody who's like really into it, right? And this is kind of like where I used to deal with flat earthers, and I would say, well, how about if we give you a trip to Antarctica? Because they don't think they can go there, and they would never want to take the trip to Antarctica. I was like, we'll raise money for you to go. We'll send you to Antarctica. They're like, no, but they never want to go. Well, one place. The people who talk about HARP have never been to is HARP. I was like, why not go check it out? You can get a free tour. See, this is it right here. You can literally go to it. These guys are funny. It's just a couple who went there, and they're putting their tinfoil hats to have some fun. I'm going to skip through all the jolly stuff and just be like, okay.
Science fiction movie.
Walking right under it. These are the people who run it, and this is what it looks like inside. There you go. That's it. It's the antenna array with just some rockin' music. Hopefully
still feeling like I have more questions than answers.
Yeah, we need to go inside and listen to one of the lectures.
Yeah.
Okay, so they'll give you a lecture inside. They'll literally talk to you inside.
Air Force bought 5,400 acres here back in January of 1989 to build a over-the-horizon backscatter radar, just to look at the Russian horizon during the Cold War.
Let's go to the generator room.
Two-cycle engines that General Motors electric or diesel division has made. So these are 4,000 horsepower, two-cycle. 645 cubic inch cylinders. These are V20 big machines. Full load average, these machines can draw over 220 gallons per hour. So, we've got 3 12,000-gallon cool tanks outside. When we're doing science
You guys hear that?
experiments, they're typically between 10 and 15 days where the scientists will come up here, or not, they can collect their data remotely. But in a 2-week period, we can go through $80,000 no problem just in fuel. So every other day during those periods.
This is this right here. You talking about this, Heidi? This is HARP. This is inside HARP in Alaska, the facility in Alaska. Yeah, see, there's the arrays. There's there's the entrance. This is actually inside the nefarious HARP, and the one that's supposedly controlling the weather and stuff, right? I mean, some people believe it, but actually it's an ionospheric heater, and like Rob Dew was saying, well, they can steer stuff from it. It's in Anchorage, Alaska, okay, other side of the world from the Gulf, and other side of the country, other side. Yeah, it's way up there, and it's controlled by the University at Anchorage, so it's a university facility.
It's whether it's a 10-day or whatever. Every other day.
And there's the mastermind. This is the Dr. Evil right here, who's running the whole facility. Like, this guy is behind it all.
Truck showing up with 9,000 gallons of fuel just to keep us going. Before HARP was built or even started to be built, his name was Bernard Eastman. And Bernard had some ideas. And that's what a lot of engineers and scientists do. If you've got an idea that, boy, it sounds good, the first thing you do is get a patent, right?
If you got an idea, the first thing you do is get a patent. HAARP. Yeah. This you'll hear about it if you haven't heard about it already. Yeah, it is in Alaska. It's the University of Anchorage, I believe, right? It's their facility. It was originally built by the Air Force, but then given to the he's going to tell you the whole history right here, but then given to the university when they were like, okay, well, this isn't we had a good idea, but and we got all we could out of it, so you guys take it now.
So Bernard got those patents for mind control, weather modification, power beaming, right? So he went and got all these patents out there, and nobody read that or cared about that, right? Until this facility was starting to be built. The first story came out this popular.
Could you guys hear what he said? Anchorage. Yeah, Anchorage. Anchorage. Yeah. I believe that's right. Yeah. This is right there. Front. Yeah. Alaska. It's in Alaska. Did you hear what he said, guys? This is where the conspiracy started about HARP. This is the important part. Is this guy ran out and got a bunch of patents, right? And of stuff that he never built and never did anything with. And then when this facility got built, then people were interested in those old patents. So just one more time.
So Bernard got those patents for mind control, Bernard Eastman. And Bernard had some ideas. And that's what a lot of engineers and scientists do. If you've got an idea that, boy, it sounds good, the first thing you do is get a patent, right? So Bernard got those patents for mind control, weather modification, power beaming, right? So he went and got all these patents out there, and nobody read that or cared about that, right? Until this facility was starting to be built. The first story came out in Popular Mechanics, and I think it was in 1992. And they showed a HARP facility blowing up a Volkswagen 200 miles away. So they had all this conspiracy stuff in that early one. So there really wasn't much out there. But as we went through 3 different build-outs to get to where we are now, it garnered more media attention. It just had more attention. So it all went back to Bernard's patents, right? Oh, they're doing mind control, blowing up space shuttles, causing tsunamis, so all this stuff. And on our hotlines, we have gotten phone calls like you would not believe. Thankfully, the last one I got was a young lady asking if I could help her to win the lottery. So I'm like, hey, well, that's a lot better than shooting down space shuttles, right?
So we just heard Marty speak and shared a bunch of useful information about HARP.
could tell he's really trying to dumb down his knowledge to speak to the general public.
So now we're going into the planetarium. Wow.
All right, so yeah, so you can see, you can go to HARP, you can meet the masterminds behind everything there. It's not, you know, it's open to the public. You can go do it. So I mean, all these people who talk about it, they never go and they never take the trip, right? They have a little planetarium there and all this stuff. I won't show you the rest, but yeah, that so you can go get a tour. And so understanding how it works is also important because it helps kind of like keep you based around you know, when you hear these things and people like just throw out the word, right? They just throw the word out there. And you hear like this report on InfoWars last night. There was a guy that was saying, yeah, when you have technologies like HARP, they're steering the weather with it. And then you go, okay, how does that work, right? How could they actually possibly be doing that? Well, they bounce off this and bounce off that, right? So then you have to go and you have to take a little bit deeper look at, well, how does it actually work, and what kind of power supply is behind this, right? What kind of power does it actually have to do this stuff? And so then you can go and you can take a deep look at the engineering of it, like how is it built, what does it do, and so on. And so like in this video right here, I'll play some of it. There's some key points, like he goes through some of the early. Here he is right here. Let me just play this intro.
Science projects, the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, or HARP, is right up there with the moon landings and chemtrails on the conspiracy hit list. But once you get past the wilder theories and claims, the basis of the science and its aims is no less intriguing. So just what is HARP and why is it so controversial? Let's say it of, if not the most powerful pieces of technology on the planet and hidden behind government and military secrecy. Yet HARP is unclassified, though it was funded and jointly managed by the US Air Force, US Navy and DARPA. But due to budget cuts in 2014, the ownership of the site and all the equipment was transferred to the University of Alaska Fairbanks.
University of Alaska Fairbanks. Okay, there you go,
So
Heidi.
what is the purpose of HARP? Well, its basic remit is to study the ionosphere, its interaction with space weather, and how it affects radio communications here on Earth, as well as the generation of VLF, that's very low frequency, and ELF, extremely low frequency radio waves, which can travel around the world and penetrate deep under the sea for communications with submarines and into the ground to reveal underground structures. HARP deals with some complex science, and how it operates is equally complex, but the basic principle is to try and replicate how the sun affects the upper atmosphere to create the ionosphere and how it then goes on to affect it, but to do this in a controlled, repeatable way, and of course on a much, much smaller scale. Now, in order to understand HARP, we need to know a little about the ionosphere. This is a constantly changing area of the Earth's upper atmosphere that reaches from about 60 kilometers to 1,000 kilometers in altitude, where it's thin enough so that the sun's ultraviolet and X-rays can reach it, but thick enough so that it can absorb these rays and ionize the gases there. It's also well above the area called the troposphere, where we live. Ionization is a process where high-energy radiation strips away an electron from a neutral atom or molecule and creates a negatively charged electron and a positively charged ion. That's an atom with a missing electron. This process creates a shell of these charged particles around the Earth, which we call the ionosphere. This stripping of the electrons also releases energy in the form of heat and light. This light is called air glow and is similar to how the auroral lights are formed in the polar regions, but it also makes the night sky everywhere glow very slightly.
I think this is why a lot of people don't know about it, because it's just so interesting. Right?
And you can see this on a dark, clear night with a sensitive camera and sometimes by eye. Normally, in the dense atmosphere near the surface of the Earth, the negative electrons and positive ions would recombine very quickly. But because the gas in the upper atmosphere is much less dense, the particles are much farther apart and remain separated for much longer. With all these free electrons floating around, the high atmosphere becomes conductive, starting at around 60 kilometers, peaking intensity at 300 kilometers, and then by the time it gets to 1,000 kilometers, it's dropped almost to nothing, where the atmosphere becomes too thin. And then
actually, this one's only like 4 or 5 videos.
In fact, the ionosphere separates into 3 layers called the D, E, and F layer, with D being at the lowest altitude, rising up to F at the highest altitude. Because these layers are conductive,
all right, so I want to go back to the
electromagnetic waves like
main
radio
topic here. I'm going to speed
surface.
this up a little bit, but
Depending
I'm dropping
on
the
their
links.
frequency, some radio waves will be absorbed,
Rumble,
some will
drop them to
bounce off the
YouTube.
electron layer and be
There
reflected,
you go.
and some will pass right
Lots
through
of
with little
lots of
resistance.
stuff in these playlists.
As these
that you need
layers
to
are
take a
created
look
by the
at.
sun's energy, They can
Yeah, but
change
open mind, you want the
dramatically from day
truth
to night,
right there
summer
for you
to
to
winter.
look at and
And in
make up
fact,
your
the
mind with.
lowest D layer only exists in the daytime and
There you
completely
go.
disappears at night.
Both of them are there.
They're
If you're
also
out there on
affected by high
X,
solar activity and solar flares, and
come
thus
on
affect
by.
radio transmission
What's going on?
similarly. HARP uses up to
There's
3.6
a lot of people out
megawatts
there
of
next.
high
Let me just
frequency
drop a
radio signals in
playlist for you
2 to 10
guys. All
megahertz
right.
range to excite and heat the gas molecules in a small area of the ionosphere directly above the
There's
facility.
that one.
It does this with the main instrument, the IRI, or the Ionospheric Research Instrument. This is the heater. It's a
All these
phased
things I'm
array
playing
radio
tonight are coming
transmitter
off these
with a
playlists that
180
I made a
antenna
while
in a
back.
grid covering about 100,000 square meters, or about 24 acres.
There
This
you go.
array works like one large transmitter, but it can electronically steer the beam over about a 30-degree angle.
There you go.
By the time the signal has reached the ionosphere, it's spread out to a size of between 60 to 100 kilometers across, depending upon its frequency and configuration. By rapidly steering the beam around this small patch of sky, it can modulate the heating process
So that's how
to
it
create
works.
signals like VLF and ELF waves. Among the many misconceptions about HARP, probably the biggest is its power output, as this
There
is
you
seen
go.
as undeniable proof that
This is what I want you guys to really get out of this video right here.
it is capable of doing all the wild things claimed of it. Its stated maximum power is 3.6 megawatts, but this is often mistaken for another much larger figure, its ERP output, and that can be up to 5.8 gigawatts. So why are there two wildly different figures?
Remember this, because people who want you to think it's more powerful than it is will tell you the latter, right?
For the same facility. Well, HARP's output is 3.6 megawatts, but in the broadcast industry, there is another figure called ERP, or effective radiated power. And here is where people get confused between actual power and ERP, because they don't understand what ERP represents. But one thing is for sure, you can't
Take a
put
look,
in
Ellie.
3.6 megawatts and get out 5.8 gigawatts.
Yeah,
as
they
some
talked
claim.
about that
It's
with
just physically impossible.
We just talked about that with the Dubai. That's how they're doing it in Dubai. They're using the electricity to make it rain.
In fact, you can't get out a single microwatt more than you put in. If you did, then A, you've just solved all the world's energy needs by creating a machine that makes more energy than it uses, and B, you've just broke the law of physics, and in particular, the law of conservation of energy. HARP has to focus its 3.6 megawatts onto a small area of sky hundreds of kilometers above using its antenna array, like a torch focuses its light into a tight beam. That 5.8 gigawatt ERP is a fictional figure used by engineers in the broadcast industry to indicate how powerful the transmitter would have to be if there was no focusing and the whole sky was covered to the same power intensity.
Yeah, but see, people that are grifting it are gonna, and when I say there's people that are mistaken about it, right? And then there's people that are intentionally using information to profit and to gain notoriety or whatever, right? I'm not saying that there's some people that just generally get the wrong information and run with it, but the people that are actually out there to there's the toxic trolls, the 4chan type people that want to really mislead you and just kind of abuse you with the information. There's people who want to profit off of it, right? They'll take something like this and say this is how it's working, right? And I don't even really throw Alex in this category. I think that he just goes too fast sometimes, or just doesn't go back, or maybe just believes what he's hearing from other people and doesn't have time to go back and check it. I don't know. I've never met the guy. It's the first thing I'd ask him. I mean, one of the first things I talk to him about. But they'll grab the other side of this thing and be like, see, this is it. They'll put out videos like that and be like, okay, this is the way they're controlling your mind right here. When the truth of the matter is like this guy says,
target distance, which in this case is the
it's
small
a fictional
sky
thing. It's a fictional
kilometers
number
above HARP.
It's to say what it would be like if it wasn't completely focused up above due to the array and the limited power supply. That's the reality of things.
That ERP figure can change dramatically from tens of megawatts to gigawatts, depending upon how efficient the antenna is deemed to be at focusing the radio transmissions. The tighter, more focused the beam, the higher the ERP figure will be. The more spread out, the lower the ERP figure will be. But at the end of the day, the most HARP can transmit is 3.6 megawatts. With the
3.6
inefficiencies in the system,
megawatts.
the divergence of the beam and the absorption of
Not
the atmosphere, by the
1.21
time it
gigawatts.
gets to the ionosphere, it's down to 36 milliwatts, or 36 thousandths of a watt per square meter of sky in the target zone.
Not very
The amount of energy from the sun falling on the same square meter of sky by comparison is 1,367 watts, about 37,000 times more energy than HARP.
Yeah. So just let that sink in when they're trying to tell you HARP's doing all this shit, steering weather.
As one scientist put it, it's like trying to heat the Yukon River with a domestic immersion
even if
heater.
they were all over the
But
place.
in case you think I'm just making it all up, consider this. If that 5.8 gigawatts was real, where does the power come from? 5.8 gigawatts of electricity is far more than the whole of Alaska generates and is enough to supply 4.6 million US households, assuming each house is using an average of 1.26 kilowatts, as stated by the US Energy Information Administration. That's the equivalent of New York, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas combined. The biggest non-hydroelectric power station in the US is the Palo Verde nuclear plant in Arizona at 3.9 gigawatts. And that would still be short by nearly 2 gigawatts. So where is the massive power station near HARP and the transmission infrastructure required to supply this fictional 5.8 gigawatts? It doesn't exist.
Yeah, see that? There's the power. There's the power site right there. And like to say, you know, in order to do the things we're talking about, it has to be so much more than you know, it had to be combined, major cities combined, right? And like literally, we could power all of Alaska and more, and like break the laws of physics in the same process of doing it. It's just so that's why these things don't add up. But the people that that'll latch onto this, the word and say, well, that's kind of confirming a bias, or that seems like it makes sense, right? Or they're then gonna repeat it without knowing this information right here. That's why you got to keep asking and questioning to the void. Sounds good at first, and yeah, that's kind of scary. If you know they have these ionosphere heaters, it sounds so, you know, it sounds treacherous, right? But then when you actually dig into what the things do and know that you can, I mean, if it's a super mighty weapon of mass destruction, you could actually go get a tour and meet the people there. It's just like, okay, they won't let you tour the nuclear missiles, I'll tell you that.
HARP's power actually comes from 5 2.5 megawatt diesel generators on the site. So if the power output is one of the biggest misconceptions about HARP, the other comes from its history, and in particular, a patent filed by the physicist Bernard J. Eastland. To find out why, you have to go back to an area of Alaska before HARP was constructed and to the oil and gas company Atlantic Richfield, also known as ARCO.
Okay, this is a history lesson, and there's a lot of
had the
stuff we
rights to
heard
huge
earlier.
natural gas fields in
I want to
Alaska's
move
North Slope
on.
region, but they were far from their main customers, and the cost of liquefying and transporting the gas was prohibitive. What they needed was a customer that would be nearby. Bernard Eastland was an MIT-trained physicist who'd worked at the US Atomic Energy
There's so
Commission
much
during the
information in this
1960s
video.
and
It's really
70s.
good.
He specialized in plasma physics and co-developed the fusion torch, a method of using high-temperature plasma of a nuclear fusion reactor to convert waste materials.
This gets really granular, and I'm going to tell you guys just to incentivize you to do your own research and kind of like learn more. Why is Project HARP so controversial? That's the name of the video. It's in the playlist that I dropped in the chat. Please save that playlist and use it, guys. It's got a lot of great information in there. And at the end of it, there's this 1995 documentary about HARP that's like, okay, before it was even built, a bunch of like scary stuff in there. So if you really want to get your conspiracy grift on, go to that last video. But watch all the other ones first. Learn about it. You'll be glad that you did. It'll make you more powerful and strong in these conversations. And it'll also keep you from falling, you know, maybe falling into stuff that you don't need to fall into. But like I said, we're not denying that, you know, we haven't denied yet that that weather has been used as a weapon in the past, that that cloud seeding and geoengineering isn't real. It is, like we've shown that. And we've also kind of proven that you know, that some of these ideas about HARP and HARP frequency maybe aren't the answers you're looking for, right? So when it comes to this stuff, they haven't really needed to include HARP in any of this, right? They've been able to make it rain without HARP. They've been able to do things without HARP, right? They don't need it. So that's one of those kind of like left turns, you know, you don't need to make. You don't need to make it. It's not doing anything. It's just sitting there, you know, but they want to use that. They need to use HARP in the narrative for the steering part of it, right? The steer, they need to say, well, this helps it steer. Well, how does it help it steer? I don't know. I'm not an expert on it. Of course, you know, that's always the answer. Nobody knows how because it can't do it. That's the problem with that, right? And okay, so again with a cloud seeding, I want to go back. I really want to go back to this thing. I'll show you one more quick one, right? I just want to show you what a cloud seeding plane looks like. All right, today. This is what it looks like right now, right? This is just one. This is a company that actually does it.
Hey everyone, it's Paul Bertorelli. I'm reporting from Hondo, Texas, and I know you've heard all about chemtrails. Well, I caught a chemtrail guy red-handed. We're going to talk to Umberto Vivanco about cloud seeding. He's a cloud seeding pilot. Okay, Umberto, this is your cloud seeding airplane.
It is.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, this is a Piper Comanche 250 carbureted, and it's been rigged with the flare rack for cloud seeding purposes. So nothing.
There it is. There you go. That's how it's done. at least by this company right here. Just to let you know, he just gives a full tour of the plane. All right, he goes up there. He explains how it works. Right, I just want you to see how this looks. That's what it looks like.
I think you said a total of 40.
Well, it's 38 per side. So I have 38 on this side and 38 on the other side of the plane.
And they burn for how long?
Approximately 40 seconds each.
And you can
40 seconds each. They burn and they do their thing, right? So that's one private company named EV. This might be the name of the channel. EV Web. Yeah, this is the name of the channel. I should have subscribed to this guy. 4 years ago, 300,000 views. There you go. So yeah, you can check out that. That's in the playlist as well. I want to jump back over to the conversation that we were having earlier. That conversation is behind us, but there's another video that Tim put out after this, and then we're gonna go back and check it on the hurricane after this. Okay. So this is a follow-up that he did, and it was out 5 hours ago. I think this is a great take, and I have to say that, you know, I totally agree with him on this, and this is where I kind of want to plant my flag as far as where I stand on things. I think he speaks well for this is how I really feel like, you know, where I'm at on things like with this. If I remember it right, I might have to adjust it a little bit. But here we go.
You got to love the corporate press taking things out of context or pushing them to their most extreme. Marjorie Taylor Greene has been on a tirade saying they can control the weather. Wired puts they in quotes as if to imply the Jews.
Hold on. Yeah, so this is where they take things when people kind of like talk about things without context or maybe at the wrong times. You know, there's nothing we can do about it if they're already doing it. The hurricanes are already there. If you have a plan to stop it right now, talk about the plan, right? But don't just go up there and shoot your mouth off in the middle of the election when people are trying to make their decisions about whether to vote for one side or the other and come across looking this way so that the establishment media, who is the best in the world at subverting their minds, can come back and accuse you of being some weird alt-right, la, 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 la. Here we go again. See, just more proof. And there's one of my representatives right there, Marjorie, who's pretty cool, right? But puts her foot in her mouth a lot, like most Georgia girls, and out there again shooting her mouth off, and where she probably should have just been talking about the goddamn election. This is the part that frustrates the hell out of me. And if I've come across a little bit brash on this topic and a little bit aggressive, maybe it's because of this. It's because I know what the fuck they're gonna do with this shit. Like I've been around the block too many times to not know that they never let an opportunity go to waste, and they can make our side look crazy. They're going to do it because it scares off people. And I've lost a lot of friends who won't even look at this side anymore because of shit like this. And, you know, maybe that's a lot of my condition on this stuff. I mean, that's a lot of what I'm going through when I see stuff like this, you know, and I react to it. It's that I've legitimately experienced loss because of, you know, because some people just don't want to take the time to learn what the fuck they're talking about, or even ask themselves if it's the right time to talk about it, right? When people our bodies are being pulled out of the water, and, you know, our kids have been blown up or whatever, you know, it's just like there's people that just run out there with no regard for what's going on and just start shooting off theories about shit and fear mongering or grifting or whatever their intention is. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. It already happened. Now let's get to the bottom of it. However, right now we need to be concerned about with what's in front of us. And that's just what I'm just telling you where I'm coming from on all this and why I get really irritated and kind of like a little bit aggressive on these topics, because I know what's coming next. Like I knew they were gonna, before the first hurricane hit, that it was gonna be what weather weapons on one side and climate change on the other. I knew before it happened because it always happens. What always happens after that? The establishment media goes out there, grabs somebody shooting their mouth off, and makes our side look like shit. And this is what I've been saying about conspiracy grifts the entire time. That's why I just try to, you know, let's just stay based. Let's focus on what's in front of us. Let's get the mission accomplished. All right. I saw something here I wanted to pull up, and then I started talking and I forgot it. Yeah, I understand there's a lot of patents. I know that there's things out there, Ellie. Nobody's denying that there's not weather modifications. I've been saying it the entire time. Geoengineering watch. I don't, if I remember right, is a kind of a. I'll look at that site. I'll look at that site again. If I remember right, that's one of those kind of grifty sites. But I'll take a look. I'll take another look. I'll maybe remember a different name or something. It's been a long time since I've been down these rabbit holes. There's something out here I wanted to point out. Let's see. It's that easy. The nuclear power plants powering HARP are hidden in Area 51. Simple. That's funny, dude. That's funny. All right, we'll just let this play, and if I think of it, I'll think of it. Hold on.
When Marjorie Taylor Greene was literally just referring to the powers that be, which includes corporations, special interests, governments, military. Let me just pause for a second, my friends, and tell you definitively that it is entirely possible to manipulate the weather using science and technology. It has been done for a very long time. Operation Popeye was an operation in Vietnam where, without approval, CIA was trying to make it rain over the Ho Chi Minh Trail because they wanted to have the rain wash out roads and make it more difficult for the communists to mobilize. Now, the question is, can you make hurricanes? I don't think so. And I got to tell you, my friends, while certainly that may be the implication that many people on the right are posting right now, we'll talk about this. I see you, Luke Rudkowski, posting on X. Do you think they can control the weather? I know what you're trying to say. Nobody's bringing this up in the context of a major Category 5 hurricane about to slam into Florida just after a hurricane slammed into North Carolina, Florida, Atlanta, South Carolina. And they're saying there's another hurricane that could slam in after Milton, Nadine. Okay, no one's saying this stuff right now to avoid the implication they think the government or some powerful interest or military is attacking us with hurricanes. I'll just put it this way. Guys, maybe, but I'm more inclined to believe that we just...
Hold on. Did you dig down? Hold on. I'll come back to this in a second. Did you dig down on that site, Ellie? You sure? I remember these guys. They're old school. They've been doing this for decades. See that? Graphene skies. Hablo Espanol. The dimming. I don't know. So yeah, they have a lot of this stuff that it's much more than that. I remember these guys. They've been around a long time. They've been around a long time. This is from 22, but I remember these guys from back in the day when I was actually like, oh, this stuff's real. Yeah. So yeah, all this caught on camera. That picture's been around forever. They can reuse that one like a motherfucker. Yep, there you go. See, all this stuff, yeah. But let's see. It's the old turbo fan. See, high pass turbofan jets, latent and arguably look at this. See, they think this is cutting on and off. It's not what it's cutting. It's not cutting on and off. It's actually moving up and into a different. There we go. It's actually moved up into a different saturation point. They show all this stuff and they say, well, this is what it is, right? But this is like natural from airlines, and then some of these are just totally bullshit. Some of them are totally bullshit. Yeah, you can't. This is not a good source. These guys they've been known to do this stuff for a long time. Look, here you go here with this. We're talking about that. Yeah, they got all kinds of things figured out, right? Yeah, these guys are one of the griftier ones out there. But anyways, just let you know, I remember that's what I thought. I thought I remember that name from there's another one called like Sky Tanker or something like that. That I'd stay away from that one too. I like it when you pull up the military sources. Those are good. I'll look at the patents. I'll look at them. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Oh, they can't help that.
No, that question isn't why am I so quiet? It's because I didn't put the video back up there. All right, sorry guys.
This must be astronomical. Certainly.
How far did
We'll
it go?
call it God's plan or constructed. Like the idea, more inclined to believe that we just live in a constructed universe.
Sorry about that, guys.
And I say constructed because atheists are going to call it a simulation and Christians are going to say
was
it's
praying.
divine mandate, it's God's plan. Whatever it is, we'll call it God's plan or constructed. Like the idea that a month from the election, with early voting happening now, two crucial swing states would get slammed into by a hurricane, wiping out Republican strongholds. It's just, the odds must be astronomical. Certainly. And then another hurricane forms in the Gulf, which is extremely rare, and starts heading east. Normally, hurricanes form off the coast of West Africa and start moving westward as they slam into the Gulf and this area. They strengthen over the ocean. We saw that from the Gulf, and it's possible. It's happened before, but it's rare. So here we go. I love the first thing they do in that they try to make it seem like people on the right who are bringing this up are talking about Jews. But let's do this. The New Republic. MTG's dumb hurricane conspiracy takes on a sinister new twist. Oh,
And this is what I'm talking
sinister
about.
one, huh? Oh, sinister. Marjorie Taylor
Undecided
Greene's claim
voters are
that they
seeing this
can
right
control the
now.
weather was a dog whistle to anti-Semites everywhere.
People that aren't sophisticated about the media.
Oh,
could
they
vote
can't
for
help
Trump. We're
themselves.
seeing this right now.
They can't help themselves. It looks like anti-Semites are really latching on to Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene's conspiracy theory about Hurricane Helene. In the aftermath of the Category 4 storm, Jewish government officials have been targeted by anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, according to The Forward, a national Jewish media outlet. Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas, Asheville Mayor Esther Mannheimer, and FEMA spokesperson Jacqueline Rothenberg have become targets of anti-Semitic abuse online. Now, what they're doing is they're connecting Marjorie Taylor Greene posting that weather control is real to the fact that anti-Semites attack people online. We do not know that they are related. Last week, Greene amplified a right-wing conspiracy theory that the government may have manufactured the deadly hurricane. Quote, yes, they can control the weather. It's ridiculous for anyone to lie and say it can't be done. She also seemed to imply that the government had been targeting Republican areas, which Donald Trump also suggested. I don't know that that's actually true, that Trump suggested that they're making hurricanes to target Republican areas, but I don't know, whatever. Not only is this theory outrageously anti-science, but it's also built on an explicitly anti-Semitic trope, notably Greene's outlandish suggestion that lacks any semblance of reason. I'm going to pause there for a minute. What Marjorie Taylor Greene is proposing is within the realm of possibility. She's not saying that leprechauns emerged from a rainbow and started casting curses upon the land. She's saying that we have weather manipulation technology, and there's an insinuation that hurricanes could be formed with that. Now, I believe she's incorrect, but it is certainly possible to manipulate weather. She's not wrong about that. She's also certainly not claiming Jews are doing it. They just love to do that because they have no real rebuttal. I'll give you a real rebuttal, and I'll be honest about it. Weather manipulation is real, but at this scale is an absurdity. Now, it's possible the military has technology that we don't.
Boom. I think that's really what I'm trying to say. I mean, I think that was the most base thing I've heard. The base take I've heard on this is like, yeah, at this scale, it seems like an absurdity, man. I mean, it's like this. You think it's happening? What's your solution? What is your solution? Won't you go out there and stop them? You know, why don't you go find it and stop it and see how far you get? Where are you going to start? What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's no solution to this except for to come across and potentially have voters turned off by having the establishment media run a subversion slander campaign on your ass. Well, I'm not talking about us, right? I'm talking about the main higher ups, the people with a voice, loud voices, government people. You know, it's not the time to be talking about shit like this. You know, get Trump elected and then lobby him, petition him to have released documents. And, you know, what happens when he comes out and he doesn't tell you what you want to hear? Are you going to call him a liar? Are you going to turn on him and tell him he's a deep state guy because he didn't confirm your bias? I mean, what's going to happen then? Are you going to take his word for it? You know, I mean, like where is the solution in this? There's no solution. And with raise awareness, we've been raising awareness. People have been raising awareness about this for freaking 20 years, right? Their awareness of it, their idea that they need to raise awareness about it. Nothing has changed. That's, you know, where's our energy? What are we doing? Are we focused on solutions? Are we focused on saving the kids here? I mean, hey, the food, the water, we're making a difference there. Big Pharma, we're making a difference there. We're moving the needle on these issues because they're real. Weather modification, we can focus on geoengineering. We can focus on artificial cloud covering and cover all this stuff that you want. And maybe if we focus on those things, the weather will get better. And I don't know, but I mean, launching into the middle of a hurricane while there's one going on, call it a weather weapon. I don't know that works in our best interest. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Know about, and they're much more advanced. They wouldn't tell us. The nuclear bomb was compartmentalized in the Manhattan Project. Hundreds of thousands of people worked on it. No one knew exactly what it was going to be. I've got the Life magazines. I have a big Life magazine collection. They're thinking it could be a death laser. It could be warships. It could be flying, big aircraft carriers in the sky or something. Some thought it could be a doomsday weapon. They weren't entirely sure. Information was getting out, but it was compartmentalized. That's a possibility. That being said, this hurricane, as far as I understand, is like what is it, like 70 or 80 or how many miles wide? Let's pull this up. How many miles wide is Milton? 100? What do they say? It's the eye of the storm is 4 miles wide, and the hurricane itself is 22 miles wide. Okay, 22 miles. Look, Trump suggested, I don't know if this is true, but there's like a story where apparently like Trump was like, why don't we nuke this hurricane? And they were like, that would do nothing. The nuclear bomb would not put a dent in this massive 30-mile wide storm. I do not believe, even with whatever we have, we are going to have the energy output capabilities to create a storm of this magnitude. Now, I do think there's the possibility of seeding the beginnings of a storm or a depression. I don't think that's possible. You need what you need to make a hurricane involves all of the surrounding areas, and to direct it requires all the surrounding areas, meaning when the hurricane starts moving in a direction, it's because all of the winds surrounding it are creating a path for this based on high and low pressure. So if you want to believe that the U.S. government or somebody is controlling the weather to the point where they're creating hurricanes, you'd have to believe that they're controlling an entire hemispheres of wind patterns. And that's basically, in turn, the whole planet's wind patterns. Certainly, there's some you could consider they can heat up an area. Maybe no, they're not going to heat up 50 miles of ocean to create the conditions to create a hurricane. I just don't believe that's reality. I've seen powerful lasers. We've seen the laser-induced plasma channel. That's where they have an artillery that can shoot a lightning bolt at you. We've seen amazing things, but the energy required to create a hurricane is tremendous. And a nuclear bomb doesn't even come close. My friends, I do not believe it's reality. But it would be stupid to try and claim that Marjorie Taylor Greene is talking about the Jews. So not interested in your ridiculous, garbled, fake news lies. Okay.
Yep.
That being
But
said,
I mean, Tim's been doing this for a long time, and he knows that's what they're doing, right? But to the average person who's getting ready to decide to vote in less than what? It's almost October 10th, which means Line in the Sand's coming out tonight. So I'll be watching Line in the Sand. We'll be playing that soon. That's the new James O'Keefe documentary about the border and the child trafficking epidemic that's going on because of the open border, because of this corrupt establishment, the one we must defeat in less than a month. Let's talk about Operation Popeye.
let's talk about weather manipulation warfare. It's real. Operation Popeye, as I mentioned, it was a military cloud seeding project carried out by the U.S. Air Force during the Vietnam War. The highly classified program attempted to extend the monsoon season over specific areas of the Ho Chi Minh Trail to disrupt North Vietnamese military supplies by softening road surfaces and causing landslides.
Extend the monsoon season. Didn't create a hurricane, but again, I'm okay with like the idea. If some people may have that they fly the secret military cloud seeding project into the hurricane and make it more wet than it already is. Okay, I mean it does. It's the highest you're going to get is Category 5, I guess, and they're going to take out the voters. Well, I'll tell you what. If that's their plan, if their plan is to take out our voters, then let's make sure they don't. Who right now that believes that this is what's going on right here, that they're trying to take the voters out, is willing to get active and get down there and make sure those people vote? Who's willing to do it? That would be a solution. That would be a countermeasure.
The chemical weather modification was conducted from Thailand over Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam.
And honestly, whether you believe it or not, we should be helping these people vote. So,
and allegedly sponsored by Secretary of State Henry Kissinger and the CIA, without the authorization of then Secretary of Defense Melvin Laird. who had
Which one's
categorically
Ellie?
denied to Congress the program for modification of weather
T-Rex is on
for
it.
use as a tactical weapon ever existed. It does.
Which one did you?
I also
which one
want
do
to
you wanna
point
look
out
at?
that The Guardian reported 13
You know,
years
I'll
ago,
look at it if you
firing
want.
laser beams into the sky could make it rain.
All right, this one.
Making it rain is not a hurricane. And laser-induced cloud seeding has been well known for some time.
2023.
I was covering this. We were looking at stories for Vice back when I was there. This is a couple years later. Well known that University of Geneva had done things like this. Cloud seeding has been around for like, I don't know what, since the 50s. They use silver iodide to cause the water particles in the atmosphere to condense, creating clouds, and then it rains. In Dubai recently, they had major flooding because they overdid it. Now, if you were to come and tell me that a major storm flooded a region and it rained for like 3 weeks and then said you saw planes that were dispersing chemicals or whatever, I'd say cloud seeding's real. But if you want to claim that one of the most powerful hurricanes we've ever seen in this region was created by some nefarious group, I'm just going to say, guys, I don't believe it. I just don't. I don't think there's anything wrong with speculating, asking questions about weather modification and weaponry. And I think it is the utmost absurdity for the media to claim Marjorie Taylor Greene is talking about the Jews. But let's just, nah, I don't buy it. Sorry, guys. I know. And a lot of people may want to believe that it's true. Believe whatever you want to believe. Tell me I'm wrong. You know, because I have people coming out and saying, what about this report? What about that report? But creating a hurricane? Nah. I'll tell you this. I believe God is real. I know. And now the atheists are yelling at me. The conspiracy theorist Christians are like, Tim, you are wrong. And then the atheist stoics and pragmatists are like, indeed, Tim, on their corncob pipes. And then I say, but God is real. And then the atheists are like, we're out. And then the conspiracy Christians are like, keep going, Tim. I believe that God is real. I'm not a Christian, though. I do believe that we live in a universe of purpose, and there is some sort of design. There is some sort of reason for existence. And I think it's fair to say that when you look around at things and based on the math that we see, you sometimes start to feel like it's not chance. Like, how could this be reality? How could so many historically unprecedented things occur in such a short time?
I'll talk about the bubble curtain.
It defies reason, but not really. Mathematicians and pragmatists will just say, no, it is within the realm of probability that these things do occur. And I just say this, sure, but I believe things have averages and tendencies, and I don't believe that we're at the high end of the bell curve for 5, 6, 7, 8 years straight. Well, but it could, no, spare me. It is too fantastical. These things seem too out of the ordinary. The reason why people want to divert towards conspiratorial thinking about the manufacturing of hurricanes is because what are the odds that a hurricane slams into 2 swing states during the election, like we're in election month. I know it's stupid to have an election month, but we are.
Daisy's back.
Then another one forms in the Gulf, the strongest we've seen, and it's going to slam into Florida. And now they're saying another hurricane, I think they're calling it Nadine, has a 20% chance of forming and then slamming the other direction into Florida. What are the chances? You won the lottery 3 times. So people just say, I don't believe it. I say this, look, I believe it is within the realms of math and probability that these things happen, but it is beyond what we would expect probabilistically. And it would be akin okay, maybe not. But as math goes, they say over a long enough period of time, all of the oxygen in a room will move to one side. Sure. What, over 800 billion years? Maybe. What are the chances? How many millions of years to see something like this occur? In which I say we are truly living in interesting times, and I believe there is something greater beyond us. I don't believe it is humans controlling the weather. I think it is just the nature of the reality that we live in for the purpose that we live in it. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm allowed to be, and you're allowed to be wrong as well, and you're also allowed to tell me I'm wrong, and that's the way we do things. But in the meantime, yeah, I don't know what they're doing, but I don't think they're making hurricanes. We'll wrap it up there. Smash the like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with everyone you know. Follow me on X and Instagram at
and Rumble.
Timcast.
So much. No, I couldn't have said it better myself. That's exactly how I feel about it, man. Honestly, Timmy wrapped it up really nicely for me there at the end. And what I can't articulate, he just did. That's why he's making some big bucks. That's why he makes the big bucks. But all in all, let's see. I got some pretty cool stuff. Let's check back in with the hurricane. This is supposed to be a hurricane watch thing too. You know, it's supposed to be. I can't grift you guys into just listening to unveiling the reality of things. I gotta like get you the other part of the title going on here. Okay, we're gonna try the max velocity guy this time. This will give me a chance to stretch my legs for a second too. All right, what do you got here? We're seeing a fence. Looks like a very stormy fence. Some grass. We got grass.
John, I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't know. Never mind. I have one light that's not plugged into the battery. I was about to say.
Why is all these live channels having so many issues?
I'd have like literally no clue.
There we go. Is this better? Oh wait, hold on. Am I jacking it up here by trying to go too quick? So nope. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. All these channels. How many people are watching this dude? 51,000 likes. Almost 92,000 people watching. Hey, let's get caught up here. We can get 51,000 likes, can't we? Smash the like button. All right. This is painful. I mean, even if I wasn't streaming this to you guys, I'd be having a hard time watching it. What are you doing, man? Okay, let's try back to. Let's go try the other guy again. This is awful. I mean, come on. Go away, tab. Go away, tab. Let's see. I covered that. I covered that. I covered that. Yeah, really check out this playlist, guys. If you're new or you're in doubt, there's I got a nice message over on Rumble. I replied to it. It said, "Don't you know the Biden-Harris administration's doing this to us? And they're manipulating weather to destroy parts of the U.S. and kill U.S. citizens. If it was a foreign government, they would use geoengineering tech to calm the storm. But they're not doing that. They are so logical. So logically, it appears that it's an element of the U.S. government aimed at aligned with the Democratic Party." Listen to this. Hold on, I gotta show you this. This is so funny. This is hilarious. And I'm not trying to make fun of this guy, but I'm going to anyways. You know, I mean, I'd keep it base, bro. All right, take a look. You see that? This is a message I got on the stream. Like, we're up here. See, hello. And hey, do you understand that the DOD under Biden and Harris is manipulating weather to destroy parts of the U.S. and kill U.S. citizens? If it were a foreign government, they would use geoengineering tech to calm down the storm. This guy's like super expert. But they are not doing that. So logically, it appears it's the elements of the U.S. government aligned with the Democratic Party. This is an act of civil war. Find where they live. Jesus Christ, bro. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. I said, do you understand you have no proof of what you're talking about? And I'm basically explaining how the story you've been told makes no sense. You should watch the stream and then decide what makes sense instead of what may confirm a bias set by other sources. And by the way, if the weather was being manipulated, it wouldn't be the Biden-Harris clowns. They're just puppets. It'd be the globalists and their deep state private military assets. Get your bad guy pecking order straight. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah. Well, hopefully he'll come back. Good friend. I want to be a good friend to you. I don't care if you believe that stuff or not. Just hang out. Hang out. You can argue with me all you want. I'll just show you stuff. I'll show you things. That's what I do. That's what I do. I show things to people. That's my job. I'm a shower thinger of people. I show things to people. That's what I do. All right. Can we find a decent hurricane stream? Oh, wait, hold on. Ellie sent me is she back yet? Well, let me know when she's back. I'll pull up her bubble curtain. She's got a bubble curtain. Bubble curtains could help stop hurricanes from happening. There's a patent for it. I don't see where it's being development. Ocean Therm, a Norwegian company, is developing a technology. They have conducted a pilot project in Norway and are working to improve the technology's efficiency and scale. Benefit: a drop in temperature of just a few degrees can deprive a tropical storm of energy and prevent it from developing into a stronger hurricane. Now, there is something that would be awesome. So I'm all for the bubble curtain, and I want it in right now. I want it in right now, so people will stop talking about freaking climate change and weather weapons. All right, we know that they're out there. I just don't think that every time a hurricane happens in the Gulf, that's what it is. And I also don't think it's a great time to talk about stuff like that because, there's an election and all. So some people may debate that. They may think that, we can do more, a couple things at the same time. I'm just worried about all those swing voters that were on, we're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I've seen it happen. I've literally seen people turn. Do you remember the grab 'em by the pussy thing? Do you remember that? Grab 'em by the pussy. You remember how many people that turned around at the last second? That October surprise, right? Remember that? Holy cow. That, oh, I'm not going to vote for him now. I was until I heard that. Dude, some votes are very fragile. Some are very fragile.
So tossed, it looks like toys. There
Who's
are
this
several
guy?
vehicles that are crushed,
Thomas, what's up, my
thrown
friend? How
against
you doing?
houses. There's
Phrasing,
even
I
a
know.
vehicle that looks like it has been wrapped around a palm tree, even, or at least partially wrapped around a palm tree.
This is a storm. Milton's got a strong backside. Is that what you're saying, T-Rex? Look at, and there it goes, freezing up again. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Like, oh shit. And the hurricane found them, and it was all over. Now they're up in the Northeast. These are T-Rex's people, I think. Or they're in Kentucky. That's right.
And then the
Kentucky.
Fort Pierce tornado, I have information on that as well.
Get to the bottom of it.
There is several large
Oh, it's
houses
slamming
or apartment
Tampa.
complexes that have been completely destroyed or at least partially destroyed. And one of the photos which I've been seeing circulating on Twitter, it just got posted actually in the Discord server as well.
All right, we're gonna
That
watch
I had
this for
open
a
a
while.
second ago. A dumpster, like a gigantic dumpster that you would see outside of a big business like a Walmart or something, was thrown on top of a house.
All right. Thank you for that update, Elijah. We're going to hear a lot more about those tornadoes, I think, over the next little bit. We're also going to start hearing a lot more about the flash flooding that's going on in around Tampa. That's kind of what we're focused on right now. Additionally, we just got an official wind gust of 102 miles per hour in Sarasota. Yeah, it looks like the trade-off for Tampa here has been, the storm surge is not going to be nearly as bad as what it could have been if the storm went a little bit farther to the north for Tampa. But the trade-off is now this stationary rain band that's going to cause catastrophic flash flooding. So, unfortunately for Tampa, obviously, you can pick which one of those you would rather be a part of. It depends on where you live, I guess. But it's kind of a lose-lose situation here. Hurricane Milton is the third Florida landfalling hurricane this year. 2024 has now tied with 1871, 2004, and 2005 for the most Florida landfalling hurricanes in a single season. So this, thanks to this storm, and also thanks to Beryl, and Helene, like honestly, this is, this has been a pretty bad hurricane season. This year will be up there, on the lists with all of the hurricane seasons we all remember. Hopefully this is the last one of the season that we have to worry about, knock on wood. I'm ready to talk about snow.
Lieutenant Dan. Oh, sorry, I realized I'd switched my headset mic and I didn't even pull it down. Thanks for that, Thomas. I looked it up. Thank you. It's about a couple hours, and it's so. But I'll take a look at that. I want to see what old alien scientist's take is on that. It looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Looks like he's taking the base takes, man. The base takes. That's what you gotta have these days, man. Gotta have them.
Also, an unfortunate stat.
Hurricane watch,
there's been
everybody
more
out there.
hurricane
Rumble, how
deaths
you
in
doing this evening?
2024 than in 2023 and
Hit that
2022
thumbs up for me.
combined.
Help us get out the algorithm. X, you guys rock. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for learning so much with us tonight. You guys are phenomenal. Phenomenal X showing tonight. Epic, epic, epic. We got 85, 76 in the house on X. What's up, X? Hit that heart. If you got a heart, hit a heart. Share it out. Follow. I want to be your best friend. I want to come to your house for dinner.
1.3.
I want to take trash out for you. Bring the mail in from the
people
mailbox.
without power.
Maybe I can mow your grass, wash your car. All you gotta do is just hit follow on X. I know you guys like it. We're watching hurricanes now, guys. We did all the education stuff up front. Like I said, you guys can whoever I get it. There's probably a little bit of everything going on here. But you know what? As long as we have a corrupt government, we're never gonna know shit. So if you want to not know shit, then just keep letting the corrupt government stay in power. That's a good idea.
Another
How about
place
that?
that's having a real rough night tonight, mostly because of the tornadoes, is Cocoa Beach.
Oh, that's where my
tornado
cousin is.
touchdown, damaging even
Oof.
the mayor's home. Took significant damage over there in Cocoa Beach.
What? Even the mayor? Mike, I got a cousin that's in Cocoa Beach. I better check in on him.
Hey, thank you, Sue Jones. Thank you.
He's tough. He can take it. We all tough.
What's moving on Brad's? He's just got stuff floating around in front of him. And the wind's starting to pick up where he is too.
Look at all that water. Daisy's
Ryan,
laughing.
you're not going to have a voice tomorrow.
Just laughing.
Well, guess what, boys? I don't need a voice tomorrow.
That's right, Joanna.
No hurricanes tomorrow.
We've always wanted to have a hurricane party together. Where the fuck is Nerd? What the? He should be here. He's the star of the show. Man. This is his big night. He's not even here.
How long are you live? We're going to go here for... we're just going to keep going until we have to end the
Almost
stream.
put him
or
on
until
the
we
damn
feel like we're not
thumbnail.
needed anymore, or until I literally can't talk.
I should have put him on the thumbnail. I really should have.
We're still... honestly, I'm trying to
Might
find
change
a
it.
way to, kind of show you a little bit more about
Hey Ryan, it's Brad. Still sitting here in Punta Gorda. Just had a refrigerator floating down the road. Refrigerator floating down the road.
10-4, Brad. Thank you.
Ring,
Refrigerator
ring.
floating down the
Hello,
road in front
Brad.
of
Is your
Brad.
refrigerator
I'm
running?
trying to figure
You
out a
better
way
catch it.
to better kind of get some eyes on the Tampa area because I really do think that's going to be the main story over the next little bit is the extreme flooding up there. We've got Caleb Beecham on his way, but he's had some trouble on his way. There's the refrigerator floating down the road.
People keep calling the house.
Is that a
If my
refrigerator?
refrigerator's running, it's like, no, it's swimming. Well, and there it goes, y'all. Right off the screen. Live coverage of
Hey, Bulls.
Hurricane Milton
What was this?
continues. Oh, they're feeling it now. That's what you get for voting. See, well, Tampa's a blue area.
Brad, are you going over there just off screen and just pushing this stuff
So what
across the
now?
water?
They really messed this one
I
up.
wouldn't put it past Brad.
Oh, look. Trash can wants to go with the
No, the water
refrigerator.
is rising, and you can tell it's picking up new stuff. This is in Punta Gorda, Florida.
Man. Got any cams there from Tampa?
Ryan, it's Brad again. I don't know if you want to play a game with
Oh, it's gonna snap on me, isn't it? It's gonna snap. It's gonna
or not,
snap.
but may play a game with
Uh-oh. So many people are watching that stream.
the YouTube watchers that are watching my stream. What will be the next thing that I see float past me down the middle of Punta Gorda Canal?
I don't know if you want to play that game. Sorry for the laggy coverage there. He's got a million
All right.
people on the
I want
stream.
to play, but I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use artificial intelligence. Hey, we are covering a hurricane. We've got some storm surge in Punta Gorda, Florida. We've seen a refrigerator and a trash can float by Brad Arnold. We need you to make an intelligent guess on what the next item is going to be that floats by him.
Well, Ryan, given the chaos storm surge can cause, I'd wager the next item could be a piece of patio furniture or maybe even a traffic.
Traffic? What is it going to be? We're hanging on the edge of our seat.
Strange things have a way of turning up in these conditions.
I want a y'all bot.
All right. That sounds good. So you got to pick one, traffic cone or the other thing.
All right, Ryan, let's go with the traffic
Traffic cone? All right.
cone. It has that classic, how did that get here vibe.
What are we watching?
Plus,
That's
it'll
awesome.
make for a standout shot bobbing in the surge.
Oh, look at that. Why is it so laggy?
Thank you. All right.
All right.
Brad,
They're having a tough time on the. Man, it's just struggling. It's struggling, guys. Well, I'll fill in the gaps here.
Is traffic cone.
Traffic cone. Man, he must have some kind of like major setup going on there to have all these people come, on different lines and stuff. He's got an AI y'all bot. He's got all these screens running. Look at that, man. I'm pretty sure that the Biden-Harris campaign is behind the stream lag. Let's see. Man, it's just struggling. Look, even if I mouse over it, it's like, don't you try it. Get that mouse out of here. Can I live it up? Woo! Yeah. Struggle sessions, right? Struggle nuggle sessions.
Of rain so far today. Based on the National
Ryan,
Hurricane Center update, they specifically
to know
called
that
that
we
out.
have something large moving.
Thank
I
you,
can't
Elijah.
tell what it is. It's away from the lights. I will report back when I see it.
All right. Thank you, Brad.
Oh man, I'm back at the terminal here, guys.
I don't know how long.
Yeah, I have a bot
I'm gonna
envy.
be able to hold
I do.
on. It's
I do. I want one. I'll figure it out eventually.
it's about going,
maybe.
y'all.
Thanks to everybody out there on X tonight watching along. I'm sorry about the laggy YouTube-ness going on here. I'm not quite sure why that's happening. I mean, I'm guessing it's because he has some people in his stream. But it's Brian Hall, y'all. And I did give him
Bill
credit
Meyer
for this.
says, "What AI is that?" That's Y'allbot.
See, everybody wants one.
I invented Y'allbot to help me correctly pronounce town names.
Ryan,
There you
I
go.
am happy to report that if you
The guy's thinking on his feet. Can y'all get pizza, Ellie? I couldn't
had
where I
trash
was at in the
can
boonies.
as the larger piece of item that would be floating down the road,
Another trash can. Man, this is I really it would be so much awesome. It would be awesome if this wasn't happening. Let me go to this view here. I can't even get my hold on. What is up with this? I can't even get it to go back to like normal. There we go. Still using 3.6 gigs. What the hell, really? All right, time for me to start closing some tabs up.
you are the winner.
All right.
By the time I'm closing the stream. Holy cow. Can I, if I refresh it, will it change? I'm gonna refresh it. Maybe this will help. Oh, Ellie, we did look at your bubble curtain. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff for that patent. I think it's a good idea. I would like to have a bubble curtain out in the Gulf. I'm down. I'm down with the bubble curtain.
Continues to impact the area.
There we go. This looks a little better. This might work for a minute. Nope. It's not giving me even how much it's using right now. How many people are in this chat? 320,000.
Storm surge is still rising in the Sarasota area as well.
You know, I hope my cousin's doing all right.
Jenny says y'all need a sponsorship deal with Hall's cough drops. Yeah, it is a problem that, you know, there is a solution for. We need to have more than just water here at the Weather House. How do we differentiate between hurricane and tornado damage? Is accuracy lost rating the scale of tornadoes? I don't think that we'll have too much of a problem with that with this.
I got Florida relatives.
I don't
for
think
sure.
that there's very many places that are going to receive.
Oh man, I wonder how Jacob Pizza's doing.
Significant hurricane wind damage on top
Speaking
of
of
the
Florida,
significant
man.
tornado damage. There are some places where it'll overlap.
I haven't seen him in a
But,
minute. What's he been up to? You guys seen
Yeah,
Jacob
we're
Pete's
going to be able
around?
to. I think that the surveys will be able to be done
Maybe we
without
can just
any
talk
sort
about
of
him. He'll show up.
problems there. But yeah,
Jacob,
hurricane damage is by itself is
are you out there?
very different and easy to differentiate from tornado damage.
All right. Yeah, I wonder how Jacob Pete's is doing. I'm not sure what part of Florida. I think he's more in northern Florida.
Ryan, vocal coach here. Please look into vocal warm-ups and cool downs. It'll save your voice. I fear you're doing permanent damage.
Yeah, you're gonna send him sound like Alex Jones.
Well, once again, thankfully, tomorrow there's no hurricanes.
There you go.
I'll probably go 3 days without talking to anybody. Go ahead, Elijah.
Hey, Ryan. So, a few things on the news side now. So, now that some of the emergency managing operations are starting to go back into effect, just barely, not a lot, but some are. We have 3 911 calls that were made, 3 different homes of people needing saving. One of the calls involved 9 people with the roof coming off their house and water was coming in. So several people are in the area still that are trapped in Pinellas County, and they're asking for emergency rescue now. So I don't have any more info than that. That just came over the radio.
All right, thank you, Elijah. We have a significant flash flooding situation going on in Tampa.
Yeah, we looked at the trajectory. There's actually been 6 hurricanes that have traveled the west-east path. In our
And we also
lifetimes
have
here.
storm surge continuing to come in.
Look at that.
In
Oof.
Venice, where this is a saltwater flood. This is storm surge. We've got freshwater floods happening on the other side in Tampa, and it's getting worse.
That doesn't look quite as bad once you show the driveway.
Melissa Slack, thank you so much for that.
Melissa Slack. Hurricanes happen, y'all. Yep. What we got here? 10. It's funny, man. We've been here 2 hours. I feel like I've done 3. I don't know why. I feel like I've done 3. I hope people that came for the talk about weather weapons history and geoengineering stayed for all the information. It's important to us to see all sides, man.
Caleb's still on his way up there.
Man. To edit this. I really feel like I should I can't change that now. Oh well. I should have put Nerd's picture on the thumbnail. I know. I was going too quick. I was moving too fast to get this stream together because I was like, you know what? I really need to come out here and talk about this tonight. We can watch the hurricane together. Just clarify the
Caleb left
positions.
Bradenton, and he's on his
Found
way
that
to
great
Tampa.
video by Tim Pool that really kind of solidified everything for me. Like I said, when people do good work, I definitely give them
Yeah,
props.
I'm not losing my voice simply just because I've talked so much. I do this often, actually. I don't lose my voice every time. I'm actually, my whole family has the flu or the cold or something. So that's adding, that's part of it.
Oh, it snapped it. It snapped, y'all. It snapped again. It snapped.
There's a rotational speed. So the rotational speed of the hurricane currently is 110 miles per hour at like the peak area. The forward speed of it was at landfall time about 15 miles per hour. I don't remember what it is at this exact moment, but it was 15 miles an hour, like moving horizontally, but the winds rotating around the center of circulation in the hurricane were 115 miles per hour. So that's kind of the big difference there. It's whether it's forward moving horizontally versus kind of rotating around one center point.
I'm trying my way to the baseboards. Okay. All right. Thank you, Elijah.
So I'm guessing it's gonna just, it'll make it's really seems like it's just still in that one area. I don't know if we keep watching the same thing. I feel like I feel like this is the same thing over and over again. Like it's not really the eye still seems to be like right here or something, right? I would think as long as we've been watching it, it would have moved a little bit further this way.
Yep. The backside is still yet to completely make it in. And it looks like it's going to be intense.
Oh no, definitely no camping. Definitely no camping during the hurricane. Stay out of tents, y'all. Don't ride out a hurricane in tents. Don't ride out a hurricane in tents. Don't do it. Let's see. If you want to watch Storm Chasers, okay, let's see what that's like. Change things up, keep it fresh and great. Thomas.
Exceptional rain
is
currently impacting the Tampa
I just
area.
subscribed, man. I didn't realize I wouldn't.
And on top of that, we still have like almost constant 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts coming in. So any like rescue operations that are going on out there right now, that's got to be a nightmare scenario.
Did I click the wrong thing? Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. It might stop here. This is just people driving around. This is a little bit more tame. You guys want to watch this for a while? That y'all got just he can rest his voice for a second, and we'll come back to him maybe a little bit. Let's see if what's what driving around looks
I think
like.
I'm gonna go back across the bridge for now. See what's up over there. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I am Stephen Jones. We are here in Venice, Florida. Hurricane Milton has made landfall. All right, I'm gonna have to really watch this bridge. I hit something.
Something hit you.
Gonna really have to watch this bridge because I remember a street lamp being across this bridge. Or the drawbridge signal, one of the two. Yeah, it was part of a street lamp. I may have dented the front end of my truck with that roof, but I'll have to check that another time. go back over here.
All right, what do you guys think of this stream? What do you think of this guy? Do you want to watch people drive around and go back to Brian Hall, y'all? Okay, what? Yeah, YouTube is censoring? What are they censoring? Hold on. Let me make sure I got this turned on. Moderation activity is turned on. So I'm keeping an eye out to make sure that nobody's messing with nothing from far away. Let's see. It says your message was retracted. Ellie, it says your message was retracted. No, it says your message was retracted. You said don't turn around, don't drown, and then message retracted. And YouTube is censorship pig. And now that one's lagging. That's by him. The comment before that, MA. Okay, hold on. I've made too many weather jokes and got banned from their chat. Who? Where? Whose chat did you get banned from? Okay. Waiting for video signal. This guy seems to be having some issues with his stream. That one. We got that one. We got that one. We got that one. That one. That one. That one. All right, don't worry. I got them all up on screen. All right, well, this is okay. All right, this is okay. I kind of like the Brian Hall guy better, or Ryan Hall better. That one's pretty interesting though, for sure. Let's go live with him. I feel like we got to get more visuals here, and it works right.
1.6 million people without power now.
1.6 million people without power. Whoa. Oof. Man. Wherever you're at, and wherever you're watching, thanks for joining us this evening.
As far as Fort Myers goes, we're still hearing about flooding down there. It's not as bad as Ian, but the water still could come up a little bit. But as of right now, that's all I can tell you. We've got lots of reports of flooding, a couple feet of water inundation. It is making it into some structures and some areas, but the worst of the flooding right now seems to be coming out of the Venice, Florida area.
Oh. That's crazy.
Chandra, if you can hear me,
Interesting
number
stuff,
5,
man.
mesovort number 5. Number 4.
Yeah, don't drive your electric vehicle.
Actually, both.
Don't drive an electric vehicle in a hurricane, for sure. Don't do it.
Mitchell Beach, Florida.
Got a
Anna
special
Maria
alert.
Island.
Man, he's got it all set up, man. I dig this channel. Should have been a weatherman. Yeah, yeah. Just quiet. Of course, you can build your own battery bank. You can easily make an $80,000 car battery for under $3,000. Lithium batteries still burning with water. Yep.
Trying to work
You
out
keep them
some
sealed
stuff
with a
with the
pressure
cameras here,
release
y'all.
just in case of gas buildup, so they don't get wet. They are much heavier and not.
Justin says,
wash
I've got
away as
family in Lakeland. Obviously, lots of rain and wind there. Any word from that area on how bad it is? I know that they're under a flood emergency, but I'm looking for any update I can get. We don't have any sort of information about Lakeland specifically. However, we do know that
more
the
than a
flooding
Lakeland
is
now.
either underway or it's about to happen. We got a flash flood emergency there. It's
Bloodland.
We haven't heard any specific reports though just yet.
Oh, I'm guessing this guy up here, the Venice Beach feed, is the same one we were just watching. I don't know if I know that song, Daisy. I don't know if I know it. Lightning crashes. Nerds are my jam.
Sarasota to Punta Gorda are getting
Yeah, I'm really
absolutely
disappointed that Office
slammed
Nerd
with
didn't
wind
show up tonight. Oh, here we go again. Snap
right now.
All right. Yeah, this is about the chillest stream I've done. It was like it's kind of like a hurricane. Like it came on strong at the beginning, and now it's just like raining. But if you're out there, please hit that like button. Please hit that like button.
Go ahead, Caleb.
Watching. That's what we're doing.
Hey Ryan, I actually just realized that my camera is not actually on my face on Zoom, but I am pulling into Tampa right now, so I'm going to start to investigate the area and see what I can find as far as this flash flooding emergency. Keep you guys updated as soon as I know more.
All right, thank you, Caleb. Everybody that was wondering about Caleb, there you go.
Let me play this
We're
song
gonna
in the
continue
background.
to see this heavy rain band go over into the areas between Brandon
Maybe
and
he'll show up.
Lakeland. Some of the heaviest rain currently is falling right here on Highway 60 near Sydney and Hopewell.
Hey
We
Ryan,
can play this
it's
song
Brad.
for almost a
Second,
year
I know
now.
Your voice is going out on you, but hit me up when you get a second.
Yeah, go ahead, Brad.
Hey, I was going to let you know we're having to retreat a little bit in the parking deck. The water is we now have onshore flow. And we were about to get that insane, very, very high
Man, we're struggling.
surge. It was probably about 3 feet consistently, maybe rose to about 4 feet.
More than
Now
1 million
we're,
people
it's
have
starting to come up
evacuated.
considerably now. We've retreated back to the parking deck, and you can see I've got the shot. I've got the
Probably would
I've got the
say
shot of,
negative. You can't fly
there's
drones and
a
that shit.
Mercedes, it looks like on the first
They
level
because
of the
fly away and
parking deck,
crash.
beginning to take on water.
Because they fly away and crash.
So unfortunately, areas if
Oh,
you're on
man.
the lower level of this parking deck, your car is probably going to begin floating once we get that 8 to 12 foot storm surge here.
All right, thank you, Brad. Here's a look at Florida or areas near Tampa right now. The rain's still coming down.
Who knew? Nerd knew. He was there. He saw it. She dialed herself. He realized in that moment that she was free. For the first time in her life, she was making her own decisions. And it made her feel powerful. So now she dials herself all the time. You can't even get a call to the house. He's like, okay, I'm on the phone. Just talk to yourself.
We're about up to 5.3 million, or not 1.3 million people without
About as many views as you got tonight.
power. Did Tampa get hit? Yeah, they're getting hit right now. No.
That's right. Look at these cars, man. Crazy to be driving around all that wet, on that water, all that water. I think he's changing up some of his coverage right now. We're getting some different views going on here, some live cam footage, some storm chasers, as if you will. Like he's got you guys' own logo kind of swirling around there. That's really. He's really got a great setup. You must feel like I run a weather station, a weather stream. Yeah.
How's Orlando?
Weather never stops, just like every
Fine
stream.
so far. The heaviest rain is about to start moving in.
Ah. Well. She did. She dialed herself. Oh, yeah. The tool. What? I should play what? The tool? I tend to make all my own music around here. I tend to make it all. Except for my house band, Widespread Panic, who, you know, they're special though. They're special. Had a glass or two. Here, here's a new one. I think it's done. Let's hear it. Listen to this one.
This is a live look closer to Tampa. Now, he is just to the north and west of Arbors at Freedom Plaza.
All alone, balled up in the grass. Freezing cold, too sick to move, but time is coming fast. 10 men stand and watch, but one will make a difference. He said, what's this world about? Is it life or is it business?
Which is where some of the significant flooding is taking place. But the farther he goes up the interstate here, Interstate 75, the more flooding he will encounter.
I didn't even know your name. Saw you lying scared. I'd never just walk away and leave you dying there. And I know you do the same, 'cause we are both the same. Just looking for a friend to get me out of here. And I know you do the same, 'cause we are both the same. I just looking for a friend to get me out of here. And all the little stray cats are safe, but we'll live to see another day. And all the little stray cats are safe, we'll live on and on. And all the little stray cats are safe, but we'll live to see another day. And all the little stray cats are safe, we'll live on and on. until they see the bill. Words they're always wasting on the deeds they never fill. Can you say you won if you haven't passed the test? When your heart made the call, did you answer with your best? Innocence and helplessness, they look the same to me. When they're needing to find a friend that will give them back their life again. Couldn't even know your name, saw you lying scared. I'd never just walk away and leave you dying there.
1.5 million people without power in Florida.
Just looking for a friend to get me out of here. And I know you do the same, cause we are both the same. And just looking for a friend to get me out of here. And all the little stray cats are safe, we'll live to see another day. And all the little stray cats are
1.6 million.
safe, we'll live on and on. And all the little stray cats
Just
are
go to full
safe,
stream mode, damn it.
we'll live to see another day. And all the little stray cats are safe, we'll live on and
Click.
on. And all the little stray cats are safe, we'll live to see another day. And all the little stray cats are safe.
Guys, I've got all the cough drops, all the honey,
And all the little stray cats are
everything.
safe.
It's all
We'll live to
already.
see another day.
I'm doing all I
And all
can
the
do.
little stray cats are safe.
You like this song?
On and on.
I actually wrote that song. I just put it in AI and let it like put the music to it. It was a song, one of those songs that I wrote a long time ago.
Caleb's getting
And,
close to
it never got
being
like,
in the worst.
it never
of the
went
flooding.
past my guitar. Let's put it that
He's
way.
not quite there yet.
Yeah, that was one of my songs. Called Little Stray Cats. Based on a true story. I probably wrote that one. So why I wrote that one? It had to be. Oh God. 2006, 7, 8, somewhere in there. Somewhere like that. Now it won't
But
let
you
me
can
just
see
put it in
why
full stream. Let's go.
we're dealing with the
Full
flooding.
stream.
Those are
Not
some of
letting
the impressive rainfall rates that we've been dealing with for several hours now.
I don't
Well
know
over a foot
why.
of rain in some of these places.
I actually have actually I'll have to see if I do this, can I put it on full screen? It's not letting me put it on full screen. I actually found a bunch of old, like I was talking about like songs that I'd written just end up on the floor. Like, you know, I'd never played them with the band or like you know, they were never meant to be played with the band or something like that. Right? Just you write songs and sometimes they get played and sometimes they don't. Sometimes you just write them to write a song. And so I found a bunch of old ones the other night. And I got out the old AI and I was like, just what do you think of this one? And I was like, I just threw a bunch of them in there. That was one of the ones that I felt like was complete enough. Like there's some other ones that I realized when I was putting them in there, I'd find one where I was like, I like the music to this, the way they came up with the music, and it's got the phrasing the way I wanted. But then I realized like I had like it was an earlier version of the song or something, and it wasn't like phrased or like there was some messed up words in it, or it had an extra word in it or something like that.
The
Like,
hurricane
that's
made
not right.
landfall.
So then I
south of
couldn't go
Siesta
back and
Key
fix
as
it. I was
Category
like,
3. We're now
as
dealing
sooner
with
like
Category
change
2.
with their format. You can't remix songs now and go back and say, okay, I like the song like it is, but let's just fix the lyrics. I don't know why they got rid of that feature. It's so stupid. So stick with these songs.
If you look at the velocity data on radar, especially around Tampa, you'll notice that there is an increase in the wind speeds
a lot more
over the
picky
past hour or so.
Ex-musician. I'm
This
a lot
is
more
that
picky about songs
interaction
and how they
with
come
the
across.
jet stream. We're likely going to see
I
even
still have that very
stronger winds
critical
move
part
through
of me.
Tampa if this thing finally moves out of here.
I still have that very critical part of me about music in terms of my own, like what I bring to the table.
To the winds as it does so.
There was one that was so close though. So close. How did I actually do this? I think maybe I already downloaded these. Let me see. I think I downloaded all of them already. I did. No, I didn't download this one. All right, let's see if I can actually fit this one in. I'll play you guys another song from my private collection. And it's not perfect. I wish I could fix this one. There's a line in here that just is not right. I wish I could fix it. Let's see. I think when you hear it, you can tell that I wrote it. But I like the music the way it came out. All right, here we go. That happened pretty quick. Let's go.
It's when we seem to find the way, the universe will test our faith. Distract us, try us just to say, if you believe, I'll clear the way. It's another day in the routine, zoning out on your TV. The time for that is over, you give it all away. For what, for who, is it all for you? Can't take it with you, so what do you do? Go out and make your fortune, to give it all away. Give it all away. Don't try to pass along the blame, go on, take credit for the rain. The sun will dry us out again, believe the process is your friend. And substance is of great value, excess gets the best of you. So feel as good as you can and give it all away. Think you earned it, you might deserve it. Burn it, count it, when you have it, then give it all away. Give it all away. Give it all away. Don't try to pass along the blame, go on, take credit for the rain. The sun will dry us out again, believe the process is your friend. And substance is of great value, access gets the best of you. So feel as good as you can and give it all away. Give it all away. Think you earned it, you might deserve it. Burn it, count it, when you have it, then give it all away. Give it all away. Give it all away. Think you earned it, you might deserve it. Burn it, count it, when you have it, then give it all away. Give it all away. We choose to live, we choose to love, we choose to fall or rise above. We have this life to see the truth and learn the warfare is the faith you have in you. Take the good, accept the bad, such a crazy life we have. So gather up your courage and give it all away. Think you gotta know it, act in confidence and sure. Add it to your values to give it all away. It's up to you, it's up to me. Form the new reality. We'll all get there together. Give it all away. Give it all away. Give it all away. Give it all away.
Guess the name of that. Guess what the name of that song was. Did I lose everybody? Yep.
Hey Ryan, so if you look in the stream text chat, there is a
Wolfram is
map
still here.
with a 24-hour rainfall.
I
recorded
scare
on the
everybody off.
All right, thank you.
Maybe they were all up dancing.
17 inches, St. Petersburg. "17 inches north and east of Brandon as well."
Dude, I keep forgetting this is a sorcery you can't carry. Then you play sorcery. Oh, you smashed me 3. Shit. I can't black watch my hit. I hit it.
All right. Let's see, what time is it? 10:41. We're gonna be wrapping it up here soon, y'all. I'm here. She's here. Where'd everybody else go? I got quiet in here all of a sudden. Last time I'm playing y'all a song.
We're getting close to 1.7 million people without power.
1.7 people without power. Speaking of power.
Takes a lot of time to rebuild your body. Gotta find the time to fit it in. Lately I've been busy practicing karate just so I get a little higher. Higher is gonna get you there. Higher is what I like to wear. Higher, you can feel the power. Higher, 1,000 miles an hour. Higher, never gonna bore us. You can beat Chuck Norris. Higher, to attack it widely, you gotta use karate. It takes a lot of patience to perfect your hobby. Gotta get the routine going on. And it feels so good to know that you're trying, really gonna get you a little higher. Higher is gonna get you there. Higher is what I like to wear. Higher, you can feel the power. Higher, 1,000 miles an hour. Higher, never gonna bore us. You can beat Chuck Norris. Higher, to attack it widely, you gotta use karate. It takes a lot of patience to perfect your hobby. Gotta get the routine going on. And it feels so good to know that you're trying, really gonna get you a little higher. Higher is gonna get you there. Higher, get you there. Higher, what I like to wear. What I like to wear. Higher, you can feel the power. 1,000 miles an hour. Higher, 1,000 miles an hour. 1,000 miles an higher. Never gonna bore us. You can beat Chuck Norris. Higher, so attack it widely. You gotta use karate. Higher.
Cute.
It takes a lot of patience to perfect your hobby. Gotta get the routine going on. And it feels so good to know that you're trying, really gonna get you a little higher. Higher, it's gonna get you there. Higher. Higher, what I like to wear. What I like to wear. Higher, you can feel the power. 1,000 miles an hour. Higher, 1,000 miles an hour. 1,000 miles an higher. Never gonna bore us. You can be Chuck.
Hey, how you doing? What's up? Oh, snap.
You gotta use karate.
That was called Karate, in case you guys haven't. That was one of my back burner, just fun little Philly acoustic songs I used to do. Let's see, which one can we do next? Let's see. Oh yeah, I think I told you guys about good vodka. Ever told you guys about good vodka? It's not really vodka. It just tastes like it. Yeah, you don't want to drink this stuff.
by the side of the road and said you want to go for a ride. Have a little drink, I got some real good vodka, bet it's gonna blow your mind. So the world to be weird, overrode my sense of caution. I like the conversations in space, took me to a world where floors swirled around the ceiling. Situations are great. A little dab of do ya, or some good vodka. A little dab of do ya, a little dab of do ya. A little dab of do ya, or some good vodka. A little dab of do ya. A little dab of do you or some real good vodka. A little dab of do ya, a little dab of do ya, or some real good vodka. Waking up is nice with a good night's sleep, even when you fall on the floor. Such a nice surprise when you realize your buzz is even better than before. Now the owl on the shelf thinks he knows everything. He said go ahead and get on tour. I got a good crew, they're always real close. Yeah, they're waiting right outside my door. A little dab of do ya, or some good vodka. A little dab of do ya, a little dab of do ya, or some good vodka. A little dab of do ya, or some good vodka. A little dab of do ya, a little dab of do ya, or some good vodka. A little dab of do ya, a little dab of do ya, a little dab of do ya, or some good vodka. A little dab of do ya, or some good vodka. Waking up is nice with a good night's sleep, even when you fall on the floor. Such a nice surprise when you realize your buzz is even better than before. Now the owl on the shelf thinks he knows everything. He said go ahead and get on tour.
Milton is now a category 2.
They're always real close, yeah, they're waiting right outside my door. A little dab of do ya, or some good vodka. A little dab of do ya, a little dab of do ya, or some good vodka. A little dab of do ya, or some good vodka. A little dab of do ya, a little dab of do ya, or some good vodka. A little dab of do ya.
That's called a good vodka. Get rid of this one. I've got I'm back up to 100 rand items. It's like they would have put some more space in that for the money. I want more brand items in my brand box. Speaking of boxes, I'm gonna play one more and then we're gonna start wrapping it up. This is a song I wrote for. Okay, so my friend who actually lives in Tampa, he's kind of he's probably been brainwashed by the establishment. Don't really he's so freaking hard-headed, it's not even funny. He's very difficult to talk to. He'll just make shit up. He's kind of like AI for the left. But he's a nice guy. I was living in his I was like on the road and I would come through Atlanta and I had all my stuff in storage. I was living out of suitcases and stuff. I think this is, or I just moved back or something. I don't know. But anyways, I was basically living in his RV in a driveway, which is nice. But she had met a chick and had a baby really fast. And their baby was in the house and the baby loved juice boxes. And so constantly wanted juice boxes. You give her a juice box. The mother's like, you had enough juice boxes. And so I got this idea of my wacky brain to write this song called the Juice Box Song. It's kind of funny.
Wouldn't the world be great if everybody has a juice box? I think what the world needs now is for everyone to have a juice box. Whoa. Oh, juice box will save the world. Whoa, juice box will save the juice box will save the world. Juice box will save the world. Whoa. Oh, you would think
Hey, Rabbit, how you doing?
only have a juice box.
So happy you're here. Good to see ya.
If I could only have a juice box. a juice box, it would fix everything. If I could only have a juice box, wouldn't the world be great? If everybody has a juice box, I think what the world needs now is for everyone to have a juice box. Whoa. Oh, juice box will save the world. Whoa, juice box will save the, juice box will save the world. Juice box will save the world. Whoa.
That little girl, it would have.
It would fix everything if I could only have a juice box. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out this evening.
It would fix
I really
everything
appreciate you
if
being
I
here.
could only have a juice box.
Whether you're on X, Rumble, or YouTube, doesn't matter. They're all great places to be. Remember to hit the thumbs up. Follow it if you haven't. Love to get to know you.
Juice box will save the world. Whoa, juice box will save the, juice box will save the world. Juice box will save the world. Whoa, oh, oh, juice box will save the world. Whoa, juice box will save the, juice box will save the world. Juice box will save the world.
All right. We got one thing to do before we get out of here.
Fix everything if I could only have a juice box.
And it's this.
Oh my!
Ashton Trues with the $5 super chat, booby man. You got it, girl. You got it. And we're gonna get on to getting out of here. Hope you guys have enjoyed the coverage this evening. We had a good time. A hurricane watch party in effect. Thank you to Ryan Hall, y'all, and his awesome crew and great production out there. Please don't copyright claim me or call me names for enjoying your excellent production. You've got enough views and clicks already anyways. All right, so we're gonna get out of here, guys. Thank you so much. I'll be back tomorrow night with Winning 2024, another great edition of all the things going on in the world right now, election related and topics that surround that and such, and all over the place and all that. And so thanks again to everybody. Thanks to the mods, thanks to the super chatters, thanks to the supporters, wherever you're at in this world. I'll see you soon. And until next time, remember, stay based, get active, vote, and keep on